It was really annoying because when we were there yesterday, like all the seats outside were taken instantly, and people were just like hanging around waiting for like one person to stand up and like diving on the table.
There were 6 people who brought Jenga with them, but they had no idea how to play Jenga.
Oh, it was infuriating.
I think they might start using that in Guantanamo Bay as some kind of torture technique.
Like literally, they were playing a game of Jenga, and so basically we were the other side of the window, like inside, and their table was outside, and a guy lost on the 3rd go of Jenga.
He tried to yank one of the bottom bricks out, didn't he?
Yeah.
Propping the whole thing up.
Yeah. And it was clear that it wasn't going anywhere. Like, this was the brick that was holding up the entire like, what do you call it?
Tower? Stack?
Jenga tower?
The Jenga tower.
Yeah. And it just, and all of us just like cringed so bad.
Who doesn't know how to play Jenga? It's like the simplest.
That bloke.
Yeah.
No,
physics.
there are conflicting rules though, aren't there? Like some people like once you choose the brick that you want to pick, you're not allowed to then
I
choose
fundamentally disagree with
I
that.
don't agree with it at all because it's not in the rules.
I thought it was once you had you're pulling it and you've got your finger on it, then you can't put it back.
Oh right, so you can test the water.
You can probe around it.
Yeah, like in chess, where as soon as you lift it, that's your move.
No, it's not.
It's when you have...
It's when you let go of it.
Oh, let go of it. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, that way around. We should all have a game of chess.
Yeah.
3-way chess. I mean, 6-way.
6-way chess. Yeah. And then some people, like, you're only allowed to use one hand in Jenga as well. Some people use 2 hands.
What?
Like,
one hand to stabilise it?
No, some people will, like, push a brick through and then with their other hand round the back.
I don't think that matters though, does it?
One hand giveth, the other taketh away.
You're not allowed to do that as well.
Why not?
Because it's one hand. Because if you use 2 hands, then if it starts to fall, you can just put your hand on top of it.
Yeah, but
well, that's obviously cheating.
Yeah, that's obviously cheating. But using
I haven't lost because it hasn't touched the ground.
But using say if I pushed it with my right hand and then used my left hand to pull it.
Yeah, as long
that's
as
fine, right?
But just not at the same time.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I think that's fine anyway.
On to the show.
I want to go more in depth in the rules of Jenga.
Should we just do a whole episode about Jenga and cider?
You just know there's some Christmas mornings in the Pender household that have been pretty...
Oh, Jenga gets heated at Christmas, man. I always wind my sister up by saying that I've never lost a game of Jenga. And she's like, I remember!
Amazing.
Right, okay.
Into this?
Onward.
Hello, welcome back, and thanks for listening to another episode of Sync Slate 6, episode 6 of Sync Slate 6.
I had to remind Arlo about that this morning.
Can't wait for episode 66.
Movie podcast where we talk movies, the major Hollywood happenings, and more. This week we're going to be talking about the breaking MCU hot off the press Comic-Con news. This week's trailers, Emmy nominations, and then our main topic will be the first in a series of the rightful Academy Award winner. My name is Andrew. To my right is Joe.
Hey.
To my left is Arlo.
I love the smell of sleigh palm in the morning.
Wow. Okay.
Nice. Thanks.
Are you gonna do one of those each week now? Is that
gonna do a different sleigh palm every week? I've decided.
Andrew Slate.
Awesome. That's like the
Are you gonna use my one next week? Yeah.
Yeah, go on then.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I've got one in the works.
All right. Sweet. Oh, that's fine. That's quite a nice surprise to me. It's like the the blackboard joke in The Simpsons.
Yeah, exactly.
I was actually thinking about a way of doing that, and you guys have done it.
There you go.
News and who's got news?
News from Comic-Con. Hall age.
Very specific. My favourite thing was, before we came to record this podcast, Joe said, I think we need to move away from talking about Marvel so much.
Well, no, yeah, we were originally going to make this a Marvel-free episode, but it was literally the biggest announcement from Marvel yesterday.
Yeah, it would have been unwise in retrospect to move away from Marvel this week.
Well, it's like we keep doing things like a week before like something comes out. Like we did the zombie genre a week before a new zombie film came out.
Yeah.
It's been panned, by the way.
Has it?
Yeah.
No, I've heard it's very like subtle and very like deadpan, and if you like that kind of comedy, it's great. But if you don't like that, then don't watch The Dead Don't Die.
Interesting.
It's not like slapstick or anything like that. It's
I actually prefer more deadpan than wacky, I think.
I think some people love it and some people hate it.
Yeah.
It'll get that kind of like cult following in
Okay.
a few years. That's what I understand of it.
So what news from Hall H?
Late. I was right, basically.
Oh,
If you go,
no, it's going to be insufferable.
You were right, just like you are unbeaten at Jenga.
just like that. We got a lot of information about what Phase 4 is going to look like, what's going to be happening over the next 3 years in terms of movie releases in Marvel. So first one that's coming is the Black Widow prequel. We kind of already knew that because it's being filmed, it's in production.
No one cares either.
So that's coming. Yeah, I know. I kind of agree with you.
Does no one care?
I don't know.
I took on your point last week where you mentioned because her character died in the movies, it feels a bit
It's kind of, I feel
irrelevant now.
Yeah, I feel it's irrelevant and a bit too late. If they'd done this maybe after Civil War, I think it would probably be a lot more well received than now. It's just kind of
they have been trying to do it for years, but they just never.
I suppose the danger is then going to be trying to crowbar some of those themes you touched upon in the prequel in Endgame as well.
Yeah, true.
Before her death scene, so I can see why they've done it that way round. But yeah, I don't know. I assume you're going to go and see it still.
Yeah.
I imagine so, but we won't be able to see it until May the 1st, 2020.
Well, I mean, you see every Marvel film anyway, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. But it has had a few people cast, which I didn't realise were in it. So obviously Scarlett Johansson's in it. David Harbour is going to be in it.
From Stranger Things.
Stranger Things and...
Is that Hopper?
Yeah, and the terrible... new movie.
Hellboy.
That was
Did not see
awful, apparently.
I really like the original Hellboy with Ron Perlman.
Do you?
I really like it, because it's Guillermo del Toro.
Is it good? I don't really remember it. I think I watched it once or twice.
I don't know how well it was received critically, but I know
it's a bit of a guilty pleasure movie, was it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Also, Rachel Weisz has been cast in this.
Weitzer.
Yeah.
Wasn't she in Doctor Strange? No, that's Rachel Adams.
It's Rachel McAdams.
Yeah. Then after that will be the November 2020 release, which will be the Eternals. We touched on that a little bit.
Yeah.
So some of the rumoured people cast in that have now been confirmed. So Angelina Jolie will be in it. Selma Hayek, Richard Madden, and quite an interesting one that I thought you might like is Lauren Ridloff. Do you know the name?
No, not familiar.
She's the woman that was introduced into the most recent series of The Walking Dead, the deaf one.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So she's going to be in it.
Is she deaf in real life?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know.
She's really good in The Walking Dead, actually.
She's very good in The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Definitely a good addition. That whole group that joined them was really great, I thought.
Not all of them, for me. Okay. No, some of them didn't work. Like, who's the big buffoon-like one who's in Fantastic Beasts? I don't know the actor's name, unfortunately.
The fat guy in Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah, he joined The Walking Dead and it just didn't work for me.
I do feel bad saying the fat guy, but then I also wonder when Hollywood casts movies, do they say you need to be fat for comic relief?
Yeah. One of my... I can't really call him my favourite actor, but an actor I really like has also been cast in the Eternals called Don Lee. You'll recognise him as the big guy from Train to Busan.
Oh, he's really good.
Yeah, he is really good.
Dan Fogler is the guy out of The Walking Dead who's also in Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Fantastic Beasts. And then so those are the two ones we're getting next year, and then 2021, the February release, like I was saying, new characters get released in February generally, and that's going to be the Shang-Chi. And it's called Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
By the way, I was right on this one.
Yeah, you were.
I called it that they'd switch
out.
The
Mandarin back.
Yeah.
They are getting the Mandarin back.
I felt pretty smug about
Landry.
that. Thank
Tony
you.
Leung has been cast as the Mandarin.
Yeah. So is that an all Asian cast?
I don't know if it's all Asian or not. I'm not sure, to be honest.
Looping back to Marvel's international commitments that we discussed last week.
Yeah, definitely.
And also,
or just trying to expand the fan base. And
well, yeah, it's exactly how you do it, isn't it? I mean, they've got a fan base in a lot of countries now that are dedicated and will go out and see these movies every time they come out. I mean, you were saying how much money Spider-Man made last week. And also, I don't know if you've seen, but Avengers have taken the top spot off Avatar.
Toppled Avatar.
They've toppled James Cameron.
I'm glad in a way, because
I'm glad about that.
I don't like Avatar.
Me neither.
As a visual spectacle, it's very, very impressive. Yeah. And the work that went into it and everyone who worked on it, fair play.
Yeah.
But
also,
it's very thin on plot. I mean, the plot it's not thin on plot, it's just not a very good plot.
Yeah. It's Fern Gully, if you've ever seen that.
It's what, sorry?
Fern Gully. It was a cartoon movie, animated movie in like the 90s. And
they stripped the script from that. Not script, but plot.
It's like the same plot. It's basically someone gets shrink down to like fairy size, and there's these fairies that live in this magical forest, and then the humans are bulldozing this forest for like oil or something like that.
I have seen this.
Yeah, exactly the same plot as Avatar.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think Endgame definitely deserves it.
Yeah.
Fair play. Well, yeah, Avatar was kind of a freak accident, and no one really knows why it made that much money.
Well, it was the kind of technological film event of the noughties, wasn't it?
Yeah, I suppose.
In the way that the Matrix was for the... Was the Matrix... First Matrix was 99?
99, yeah.
And it was new technology that had come to film where you could... the CGI was better, the action was more interesting because of the CGI.
Yeah.
It was kind of a similar stepping stone.
Do you think Avatar still looks good now? And do you reckon the new ones that will come out will be leaps and bounds above that last one?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think it still looks good if you go back and watch now.
He probably unearthed some kind of technology from the bottom of the sea.
I mean, is that a South Park reference?
Well, he did it, didn't he? He goes deep sea diving.
Go and find the bar.
Yeah. But like you were saying, it's visually pleasing, but I wouldn't watch it. It's the same with like the Shard here in London. It looks good, but I'm not going to go up it.
Anyway, so that's Shang-Chi is going to be February 2021. After that, it's looking like that's when we're going to get Doctor Strange 2.
Yes.
I'm really excited for that.
Me too.
Well, also it looks like it's going to be a really important film because... Well, actually, no, I won't mention it.
So what's...
Essentially, this now looks like how we're going to be introducing the multiverse.
Right, yeah. Because it was in the title, you could say it.
Yeah, the title of Doctor Strange is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And they've promised it to be the first scary movie.
Awesome.
Well, the effect in that... Well, I mean, there's another good example of a film that used technological advances to, compel audiences.
Yeah.
And it doesn't shock me that they would use that kind of technology again to maybe direct it more towards a horror story.
Yeah. So there's no big massive crossovers at the moment, but they are going to have Elizabeth Olsen back in this one as well.
Oh, cool.
Which would be quite cool because their powers kind of match up quite well. You couldn't have someone like street level like Spider-Man be in a really trippy, scary Doctor Strange film, but I think Scarlet Witch kind of fits into that really well.
I'm quite out of everything. I think that's one of the ones I'm most excited about, and I've read some Doctor Strange comics from the 70s, and it's just so trippy. And hopefully they'll go straight into that. And like we were saying the other week about changing genre within these movies, like doing a horror thing, I think it's going to be wicked. And I heard the villain might be Nightmare.
Oh, really?
I think so. That's a rumor I read. And then I got thinking, here's maybe my another thing I get right. Was it Nightmare that put Doctor Doom's mum in hell? And that's why he's sad?
I think you're right.
Yeah.
So introducing Doctor Doom.
I think, they might put his mum in that one.
Doctor Doom becoming the Earthbound big bad.
Yeah, and he's one of my favourite Marvel villains. I don't read
Doctor
comics.
Doom's amazing.
Yeah.
Apart from in the Fantastic Four remake, where he looks like a bit of a glorified sex doll.
To be honest, I didn't watch the Fantastic Four remake. Wait, are you talking about the Michael B. Jordan one? No, I didn't bother watching it.
Who's the actress out of House of Cards? The first couple of seasons.
Watch House of Cards.
Something Rooney.
Wayne?
No, Kate Mara. Sorry, I said Rooney because Kate Mara's parents or grandparents own two of the biggest NFL football teams.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Giants and the Steelers.
Oh, no way.
And the owner of the Steelers was called
Hey.
Art Rooney.
You guys will be proud of this. I learnt the rules to cricket the other day.
All of the rules?
No.
No, it's madness.
Yeah. After we won.
After we won.
Yeah, I saw some highlights and my friend explained it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just so now you can take all the glory and go out the pub and be like,
See the cricket last week, so I can talk at the water cooler.
You're like, well, let me explain to you why it was 6 runs.
yeah, did you hear about that controversy about the...
Yes, because he when he dived, right, is this what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, and because he wasn't looking where the ball was and it hit his bat, that means it counts as 6 because he wasn't interfering with play. Am I right?
no, because it went
That's
for another
right.
4 runs and plus the 2 that they'd already run.
But he didn't complete the second run, so it should have been 5.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, I don't know, no, I don't care because we won. So.
Yeah, I don't care either. Any Kiwis listening, booyah!
So after that one, which we're all pretty excited about, Doctor Strange, they're going to be going for the next Thor one, which is called Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
And have you seen the
It sounds like a Motley Crue album.
I was going to say that. I was going to say it sounds like a Kiss track or something like that.
Well, kind of the poster for it looks like kind of He-Man, like very like 80s and like I don't know, like you see like lightning bolts coming out of it and stuff.
Really?
Do you think that's what they did well with Thor Ragnarok?
Yeah,
it was more faithful to the comics, wasn't it? It was very trippy, very colourful.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen as well that Taika Waititi has been confirmed to be coming back to direct.
I think this is what excites me. And do you know the other bit, the casting bit about it?
Are they bringing back Korg?
No, they're bringing back
Natalie Portman.
Yeah, as Thor.
What?
So they're going to do Lady Thor.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what I understood. I might have misread that.
I mean, as long as she's on board for actually being there, because Thor 1 her performance was okay. Thor 2, she didn't want to be there and it was atrocious.
She's a very serious actress as well. She's done some great films.
I don't actually like her as an actress.
Do you not?
No.
What's she done recently? She did Coco. Was that the biopic about Coco Chanel? And Jackie as well, which she was nominated for an Oscar for.
She also did. Was she in one of those Netflix movies that was actually good?
I don't remember. Does she do a lot of work with Iñárritu these days, the director?
Oh, really?
I think he's like she's his muse in a lot of ways.
Right.
Oh, really?
I may be wrong. I'll look it up.
Yeah.
I think that sounds good, and I think if one person can pull it off, it will be Taika Waititi.
Yeah, I mean, there's no one out there that's saying that Thor Ragnarok wasn't the best Thor film.
Yeah.
Because it was so much better than the other two. Kind of like made this character good again. It I wasn't really fussed about Thor in the first couple of films and the first Avengers film, and then going into Ragnarok, it was just so much better.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Comedy element. Yeah, definitely. So that's November 2021. They also have confirmed a few more things that will be coming out. Obviously, we've got the Loki series. We've got the Falcon and Captain America and Winter Soldier team up. We've got the Scarlet Witch and Vision one.
That's going to be based on that fairly recent comic run, isn't it?
Yeah.
I really don't care about Vision.
No,
he's awful. I mean, I love Paul Bettany, but he can't do anything with that role. And for a superhero who's meant to be so powerful, he does nothing in any of the films.
No.
Other than the second one where he stomps down Ultron. But their character arcs interweave, so that's important.
Yeah. Feige also confirmed Black Panther 2, which will be great, I'm sure.
Yeah. It's going to be huge.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll get to do the soundtrack this time?
That's exactly what I was going to ask. No idea.
Because Kendrick Lamar produced the first one, and it was
Donald
amazing.
Glover.
Sorry?
Donald Glover.
That's not a bad shout, actually.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 has also been confirmed. So they're not doing as Guardians of the Galaxy then.
No.
So, I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? Financially, you're not going to combine two characters when they both could have multi-million pound movies individually.
Sorry, just to interrupt. It wasn't Iñárritu. It's Pablo Larraín, who's the Chilean director.
Oh, cool.
Who does a lot of work with Natalie Portman.
Right. Fantastic Four has been confirmed. Hopefully they can actually do it justice. Please, please, please don't mess this up again.
Well, like we just said, I'm way more interested in Doom than any of the Fantastic Four put together.
That's it. Yeah. Reed Richards can be an interesting character sometimes.
Yeah.
The Thing can be. Oh, I don't know.
Is Reed Richards a villain in some?
I haven't seen him be a villain, to be honest. He clashes heads a lot in the comics with like Tony Stark, for example, but I mean that's not going to happen. Captain Marvel 2, obviously we're getting, and something called Mutants, aka X-Men. Yeah.
So does Fox still own the name but none of the characters? That would be funny.
Yeah, I don't know. Imagine they were that petty.
Yeah, you still can't call them X-Men.
But then the most exciting bit of news, I think, is the Blade movie being confirmed.
Yeah.
What do you think about this?
I don't like the original Blades. Gonna go out there. Blade 3 is pretty bad.
That is very bad, yeah.
That's my guilty pleasure film, I think.
What?
Fair enough.
Okay.
Even
the whole iPod bit?
Loved it.
Well, are you going to announce who the casting is for this?
Do you want to do it?
Because it's a tough name to pronounce.
Yeah.
Mahershala Ali.
Nice.
Mahershala? Yeah.
He's in season 3 of True Detective.
Yeah, which apparently I haven't seen.
No.
But someone told me yesterday is incredible.
Yeah, I've heard it's up there with 1.
I thought he got nominated for an Emmy, but I looked at the list earlier and I don't think he did. We're coming on to that later, though.
1 is the best TV standalone TV season I think I've ever seen. For me.
Yes. Yeah. I would agree. The best bit about the second one is there's like a gunfight in the street and it's very realistic.
I didn't watch the second season.
I don't know if you heard about there's the one tracking shot in the first season. I think it's in episode 5.
Oh yeah,
which goes on for about 6-7 minutes uninterrupted through a firefight and trying to take a hostage over to a car.
That's crazy.
It's pretty impressive.
Anyway, the Blade movie coming out. This is it's going to be an amazing movie, I think. Anyway, but it also opens it up to like vampires and zombies and stuff. Like, no, you're not.
No, I'm not. I don't know.
I'm concerned about taking an actor who's at the height of his powers at the moment. I mean, Green Book. We discussed Luke Cage, didn't we? Which is a bit of a trashy superhero TV show. The setting and the start of it were amazing, and Cottonmouth was a great villain, but then they killed him off, and it got a lot worse after he wasn't in it. So I'm just worried for Mahershala Ali more than anything else. I don't want him to do this terrible film.
I don't know. I think it's going to be pretty good.
The thing I'm kind of worried about is they're going to be potentially introducing a lot. I mean, I guess you could link up like Doctor Strange 2 into Blade, but if you're introducing mutants, vampires.
Does Blade belong to Fox then?
I don't know. Or
it must
Sony?
do. They've acquired Fox, right? So
yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, but I mean, they're looking at the list of movies that we're getting. It looks like they are keeping them quite centralized, though. They're not doing any big crossovers. So I mean, you've got Black Widow. That's going to be a prequel. Eternals going to be cosmic. It might be a prequel. It might be set now. It might be set years ago. Shang-Chi. That's going to be set the other side of the world. Yeah. From most of the superheroes that we've met. Doctor Strange, it's got a crossover with Scarlet Witch, but again, I think it's going to be quite centralized. And then Thor is obviously probably going to be off-world as well. I think introducing new characters is fine, especially if we can slowly integrate them into the universe. But I don't know. Obviously, that will come after the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness film. So will that maybe be set in a different universe?
Where there is vampires.
Where there is, that kind of stuff. I mean, is this how they're going to bring it in now?
Like the early version of The Matrix. You know about that?
No.
Did I mention this to you guys?
You did with the vampires and werewolves.
Yeah, exactly. So it'd be cool if they, because they can't introduce X-Men and Blade just being like, oh, yeah, mutants and vampires were here the whole time.
Yeah.
You just didn't notice them. That would be dumb.
They have to emerge post Endgame event.
Yeah. Right. I mean, one thing we could say was like, oh, the snap has fractured reality in some way that these types of things can now happen. Mutants can be born, blah, 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 blah. Maybe. I don't know.
Stand to reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should just make a side note. There is someone in our close proximity playing the same Afrobeat non-stop. So if anyone can hear that, anyone listening can hear that, we're just as annoyed as you are.
We don't know where it's coming from.
Do you reckon they'll pick that up? Will you be able to hear that? Wait, if we're really silent for like 2 seconds.
Well, now it's gone quiet.
It's gone quiet.
We could close the windows, but then we would just be...
We would cook in here.
Yeah.
It would be very warm.
Yeah. Very warm. So, on to trailers or any more news?
That's all the news I've got from All H. Signing off.
Wouldn't it be great to send you there?
Oh, man.
Reporter on the scene, Joseph Pender.
I would love to go to
Would you?
San Diego Comic-Con. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Absolutely love it.
You probably will at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is just a lot of queues and a lot of waiting around and stuff.
But you're there with people who like it as much as you do.
Yeah, but I was in a place where people liked Marvel as much as me at that screening of Endgame, and then I realised that I didn't like people like me.
I was going to say, you might get into some kind of fight or ruckus.
I bet there are some heated discussions on like who would win in a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess trailers?
Yeah, now, I guess we should talk elephant in the room or cat in the room.
Yeah.
Does that work?
Cat in the room. That classic saying.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I just went for it.
Yeah, I love it.
I went for
Keep
that
coming.
cricket ball and didn't look. I don't know.
Balls to the... I don't know where you're going with this now.
There's got to be some cat puns out there that we're not utilising at the
You're
moment.
feline like we need to address the new Cats trailer.
Yes. Amazing.
Why are you so damn good at those? That's really infuriating.
Did you not know I'm a wordsmith, Joseph?
I mean, this Cats trailer. I'll just start it off with this. The first YouTube comment I read was, maybe Sonic design wasn't that bad.
Sonic.
I think that's harsh.
We watched the trailer the other night. We'd had a couple beers and we were just like, what the hell is this? And then we watched the making of it, which was like a 8-minute YouTube
Behind the scenes thing.
Behind the scenes. And there's just a clip of Idris Elba going, actually, we're using some fur adding technology that's never been used before. And I'm like, all right, Idris, calm down.
Hey, don't go after Idris. He's just reading off a cue card behind the camera.
No. I'm going after Idris Elba because he's been coasting along for years with people thinking he's amazing, and he takes such terrible roles.
What?
I don't like Idris Elba.
Idris Elba's allowed a payday.
No.
No?
No. He's had enough.
Apart from the fact that he produces and writes, I believe, the TV series Luther, which, if you haven't seen, there are now 5 seasons, which you should definitely give a view because the first 3 are amazing.
Yeah, I've heard they're really good.
Last 2 less so, but he's been doing great work for the last decade or so. He is in some bad films. He's in Prometheus. Prometheus is pretty bad.
Is he?
Yeah, he's the captain of the ship.
Yeah.
He's obviously in the new Fast and Furious.
Yeah, that's another payday. I mean, he's going down the Gerard Butler route of acting.
Pacific
How much
Rim.
money can I earn?
Jerry Butler.
He does the Sky ads.
Yeah.
Do you know the good thing about Pacific Rim is that in Pacific Rim 2, Michael B. Jordan's meant to be portraying his son, and I quite like that as a dynamic.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I found it so ridiculous seeing like Judi Dench and Ian McKellen in that ridiculous, just with like
You've taken
whiskers
2
around
of
their
the
face.
best actors of our generation. And
Yeah.
you've-
Sir Ian McKellen and Dame Judi Dench, and you've put fur on them. What the hell are you doing?
Are they? So I'm assuming they're all in green screen suits in that behind the
they
scene
must
thing.
be.
Hey, It's fur adding technology. That's all you need to know about it.
Because I would love to see footage of just these people on set in those cat costumes because they are so dumb.
Yeah, I mean, like no,
for fuck's sake.
Yeah, you see some of these, like you see Rebel Wilson, you see James Corden, you're like, oh, okay, like fair enough, taking the money, and then you see Ian McKellen, you're like, no, Ian.
No, I don't want to go after Rebel Wilson, but what are everyone's thoughts on Rebel Wilson?
I don't have many thoughts on Rebel Wilson.
I would say she's vaguely irritating, but also funny, kind of like Russell Brand.
I just find her irritating. I don't think there's any redemptive quality to her acting. I mean, when I see that she's in a film, it dissuades me from going to see it. That's what I have to say on that.
Yeah. There is something kind of nauseating.
I also feel a bit sorry for her because I've seen the Pitch Perfect films, right? And she's called in the Pitch Perfect films. She's called Fat Amy. That's her. That's her character's name.
Imagine auditioning for something like that.
And every joke she tells in any of those films is "I'm fat," and I feel a bit sorry for her at this stage. It's like
she gets in her trailer at night and just looks in the mirror and she goes.
I mean, I think she is quite funny outside of her acting as well. Like she does I think she does stand up as well.
Yeah, I definitely prefer her stand up to what I've seen her acting. No, yeah, she should stay with. Is she Australian
or Kiwi?
Yeah.
Kiwi?
Sorry,
I think she's Australian, maybe.
Yeah,
but she's very much like early career Jonah Hill, where he was just like the fat joke in every film.
Yeah,
that's true.
And maybe she'll have this renaissance like he did,
like Jonah Hill did,
where she does this role that suddenly, I don't know, propels her into
what was
superstar.
Jonah Hill's role that made him?
It's Moneyball, wasn't it?
Moneyball, yeah, and then obviously Wolf of Wall Street, and
yeah.
Yeah.
He won Oscars for both.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
He's won 2 Oscars.
He's a great actor, to be fair.
Or maybe he's nominated for both.
The one saving grace when watching the trailer for this was Jennifer Hudson's voice. I mean, she is just an insane singer.
Transcendental talent. She really is. She is an incredible singer. And
so she's playing Grisabella, who is... she does the song Memories.
Right. I've actually seen Cats live when I was in the States.
Yeah.
And I think my mum has it on VHS, but I was quite young and I don't remember what it's about.
I saw... This is my point with it. I've seen Cats 3 times. I've seen it once, like a travelling grouping like near Cornwall. I think it was the Hall for Cornwall. And then I saw it in the West End. And then I also saw it last year when I was in Korea.
Man of the World.
That's it, mate.
Was there a revival or something?
No, it was like this group that their whole job's to like travel to all like these different countries that don't have like places like the West End and put on performances. It was absolutely amazing. But it had translation on the side for like in Korean, which is really cool.
We should give them a shout out if we know their name. That sounds like quite a good project.
I don't know their name.
Do it on Twitter.
Yeah, I'll put it on Twitter.
It was amazing. I won a TV while I was there.
What?
I don't know.
For people who don't know Joe, he is the jammiest person alive.
So there was probably about 1,500 people there, and like they did their final number, and I like got up to leave, and then on the big screens that had the translation, just came up with this thing in Korean with a seat number, and then Jian just turns to me and was like, "Oh, you've won?" And I was like,
"Did they put your face on the big screen?"
No, they didn't put my face on the big screen. But I was like, "What do you mean I've won?" And then like people started clapping, and I was like, What the hell's going on?
Why are they giving out a TV at a musical? That's so bizarre.
I have no idea. I think it was sponsored by like Samsung or something.
Oh, okay.
We gave the TV to Jian's parents. But,
that's nice.
That's nice.
Well, for a little profit.
I cut off a piece of that cheddar.
I really want to believe that it was like an accident, but I was like the only white guy in the audience, and I think they wanted a photo op.
Didn't you always your face used to get put on the baseball screens when you're out there?
Every single game. I got interviewed by a Korean sports channel once as well, and I was like, I don't know about baseball.
We really need to use your local celebrity in Korea to expand our podcast listenership. Honestly.
What was I talking about? Oh yeah, no. My point is that so I've seen it 3 times, and it's kind of a bit concerning that they're making this into like a film because it doesn't really have like a plot that follows that kind of narrative.
Yeah.
It's the concept of it is introduced very early of like there's like an extra life or something going, and you have to
a 10th life.
Right. For the most deserving cat, and then it's a series of introductions essentially for the entire show, where they're like either saying, "Oh, this one should get it," or "I should get it," or blah 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 blah.
Right.
You try and take me out the synopsis game, Joe.
Sorry, mate. You've never seen Cats?
Yeah, I haven't.
It's amazing, but I don't know how you turn that into a classic 3-act film structure, if you know what I mean. Unless they are going down a completely different route, using the same characters, but telling a story, which I think they probably will be doing, because the main cat character, I don't know what the name is. It says Victoria and then cuts off. Played by Francesca Hayward. She's a ballerina.
Yeah, she's a really, really talented ballet dancer.
She is amazing as well. But I don't think her character exists in the musical.
Right.
Whereas the rest of them, so like Idris Elba's Macavity, Jason Derulo is Rum Tum Tugger, and like there's.
What are these names?
You don't know Jason Derulo?
No. Wait, which one's the stupid name? Rum Tum Tugger or Jason Derulo?
Taylor Swift's going to be in it as well, obviously.
Yeah.
I really don't like Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I think you've voiced that opinion before on this.
Wow. No, that was Selena Gomez.
Oh, okay.
And I think they are part of the same crew, aren't they?
Who?
I think so too.
Taylor Swift's got this crew which has Kylie Jenner, not Kylie Jenner, the older one, Kendall.
Oh, really?
It's like Kendall Jenner, Selena Gomez, like high power women in film, like models, acting.
That can't act.
I mean, has Taylor Swift starred in anything before this? I don't think she has.
Do you know who's also going to be in this? And who we talked about last week? Ray Winston. Is he having some sort of revival? Is his agent just going like, I'm getting you this, I'm getting you that?
So I was at a work social on Thursday night, and one of my colleagues, we were talking about Ray Winston, because actually I brought up the Black Widow prequel.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, Ray Winston, she said, what else has he been in? I can't even recall. And I said, the Beowulf film, like the really heavily CGI'd one, where they made him look like 20 years younger than he actually is. She was like, that's not him, he's really old. And I was like, I know that we might be a little bit drunk at the end of this social, so I'm going to bet you like a bacon, egg and sausage sandwich on this, because I know I'm 100% correct. And she's like, no, you're not right. Goes through her phone, looks it up. She's like, that doesn't even look like him. And I'm like, but who is it?
How did that bacon and egg sandwich taste?
Delicious.
Yeah.
There's nothing more edifying than a bacon sandwich based off your knowledge, Andrew. Let me tell you.
And did you eat it while drunk?
No. It was the next morning.
Oh, next day. Even better.
Just maintain eye contact with her the entire time.
She's a vegetarian as well.
I've actually hated handing the money over for that.
She went and got it.
Yeah, I know. Like her handing that over, being a vegetarian, ordering bacon and egg.
I mean, come to think of it, it would have been maybe more sensitive of me to have just gone, I tell you what, just give me the money for the sandwich and I'll go and get it. Yeah. But
no.
Part of the bet was the shame of delivering me the sandwich.
Wait, but you said you bet a bacon and egg sandwich. So what if she'd won? Did she want you to go buy her a bacon and egg sandwich?
I think it was just some kind of hangover cure.
Oh, okay. Right.
In return, but I don't really remember. I knew I was right, so I didn't even really consider that part of that.
Put my house on it.
Yeah. So he isn't in too many films as of late, but so now we've got him confirmed for the Black Widow prequel and Cats.
Yeah.
Is he anything else?
I know, but that's two things.
And two pretty big projects as well.
Do you think he's cashing in and he's going to retire soon?
Well, I mean, Joe thinks Idris Elba's cashing in. If anything, Ray Winston's...
He's been stealing a career for the last 10 years.
You think so?
Yeah.
What about Sexy Beast? That's an incredible film. That's where he got famous.
What, Idris?
No. Ray Winston.
No, I'm talking about Idris Elba stealing a career.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Any more on Cats? Anything we... Yeah, you're excited for this, right? Because you're into musicals.
I'm a big musical theatre guy. But no, I'm not excited for this. Like I said, I'm sure the songs will be great, and the choreography will be amazing. It's that CGI is just going to take you out of the movie every 2 minutes, though, because I don't see a cat. I see furry Judi Dench.
Yeah.
Which I don't want to see.
That is quite the evocative.
Furco, no knickers. And also, I don't know if you've seen it, like, they've not really decided how big these cats are. So, like, there's one, like, clip from the trailer where, like, they're all jumping on the bed, and there's, like, 5 of them on, like, what would be a normal-sized bed, and they look like kind of normal-sized cats. And then there's another bit in the trailer where they're sitting at a table with a knife and fork, and the knife and fork is, like, bigger than the cat.
Right.
And I'm
okay.
like, you need some rules if you're gonna be doing this.
I think the potential to save what looks like quite a poor film at the moment is the dancing talent of the protagonist.
Yep.
What was her name?
Francesca Hayward.
Because she looked incredible in the behind-the-scenes stuff.
Yeah, she did.
And the singing talents of Jennifer Hudson and Jason Derulo. Because Jason Derulo, I think I told you the other night, he's a professionally trained opera singer.
Wow.
As well as this really mainstream pop R&B artist. So
You're not giving any credit to Taylor Swift or James Corden then, in terms of singing ability.
Well, James Corden, I saw him in One Man, Two Governors about
He's got Tony,
10 years
hasn't
ago.
he?
Yeah, I think he won it for that. And it is really good. Really
Is that
good.
a singing role, though? One Man, Two Governors?
No.
It's not.
It's more of a comedy.
Right.
But yeah, he is really good in that.
Yeah.
And I think he maybe gets a slightly harsh press, doesn't he? And everyone seems to just not like him because he's
doing well, I guess.
He's doing well, but I've heard multiple stories that he's a bit of an arsehole.
Really?
For lack of a better word. Yeah, in private. Yeah, it's a shame.
Well, they're doing they're coming back for Gavin and Stacey Christmas special, aren't they?
They are, yeah.
Did he write that, do you know?
He did, yeah, with Ruth Jones.
Yeah, but I mean, this Christmas special.
He will have done, yeah.
Yeah.
He won a BAFTA, didn't he, with Ruth Jones?
He's won a lot.
He's won a couple of
fair
BAFTAs.
play to the lad.
Yeah.
Like,
he's a successful guy. Like I say, I think it is those stories behind closed doors that you hear on the grapevine that people maybe give too much heed to, or maybe not enough to.
yeah.
It's difficult
And,
to say what he's like.
He's just very cringy in the like carpool karaoke as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it the Late Late Show he presents over in the States? I think it is. Yeah, he's one of those people that we, like I said last week,
Punchable
he's
face.
Well, he's just in the public sphere so often. You can't get away from him. He's doing something somewhere.
Yeah.
He's doing some kind of project.
Yeah.
But success seems to follow him around. So
Yeah. Good on him.
all power to him. Yeah.
Yeah.
He could be quite good in that.
Yeah, he's playing like a big fat cat.
Typecast again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, I think the singing talent and the dancing talent in this is probably going to be the.
Yeah. I mean, do they like translate well into films? I mean, look at Les Mis a couple years ago, a few years ago now, actually.
5, 6.
The film version. I mean, it was okay. Didn't even touch what it's like to see live on the stage, though.
But that was different in that all the actors in Les Mis were singing live. There was no recording alteration or anything like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So Anne Hathaway, Hugh Jackman.
I wish they had done that for what's his name?
Which character?
Russell Crowe. Sorry,
Yeah, Russell Crowe's not.
World's greatest actor.
But
because
that's
Hugh
meant-
Jackman's amazing. But
So the idea behind that, the scene where they've pulled out her teeth and shaved her head, and she sings, I don't know the song. I mean, you're the musical.
With no
theatre buff.
teeth.
They pull out her teeth.
Yeah.
oh, is it I Dreamed a Dream? Or is
Yes,
it?
I Dreamed a
Okay.
Dream. The point is that it's meant to be visceral and in like up close and personal, and that they don't dub or adjust the vocals.
Oh yeah, it's
because
really raw, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. They want to like zoom in on the horror of,
Wow.
that
But, I
character.
mean,
That's pretty cool.
If you were to go see the stage show, I mean, it's a masterpiece. It's amazing, and yeah, you need to do it because it gets such a like I don't know.
It's
People
not up my street,
claim
but-
that people claim that it's not their thing and they don't like musicals, but then everyone that goes and watches one's like, wow, that was amazing.
Yeah.
I know it can be a bit pricey, but
It is a different experience hearing an amazing singer live,
yeah,
because
Yeah.
you don't get that often at all. I mean, even if you're a regular theatre goer, there will be so few singers where you're like, wow, that really...
Yeah, and even ones
blew
I
me
didn't
away.
think I'd enjoy. So, like, I went to see Wicked a few years ago. That was amazing. And then Kinky Boots I saw last year, which I was just... Yeah, it was so good.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not a
We're
musical
on,
theatre
yeah.
podcast, are we?
Tangent 1.
Yeah. The other trailer we got this week that's
God.
making various headlines or not is Top Gun 2 Maverick or whatever it's called.
Yeah, it's called... Yeah, Maverick.
Is it just Maverick? Yeah.
Top Gun Maverick.
I don't care about this. It's just like there's just no point to it. Like, what else can you explore in the Top Gun story? Like, the first one's kind of about nothing mostly too.
Well, no, it's about tensions between Russia and America,
Yeah,
isn't
I
it?
mean-
More than anything.
Yes.
And
Okay.
I disagree in that there's not anything to explore in this one, because I think the thing to explore is the leap in technology with the jets.
Yeah,
Okay.
that
And from the
aspect
trailer-
looked amazing in the trailer, to be fair.
Do you think it's an excuse for Tom Cruise to learn how to fly a fighter jet? Because I
Oh,
bet
yeah,
he
for
has.
sure. For
Yeah.
sure.
Tom Cruise is finally starting to age.
Yes. Yeah.
He had a few wrinkles and a few war wounds in this one that I was like, damn, it's finally happening.
Beginning to look like my scrotum.
What the hell are you doing? What?
I don't, in my mind, I just imagine...
No. Don't try and get past it. What?
No, I said in my mind, I imagine Tom Cruise has had some work done.
Yes.
As your scrotum.
No, but I imagine him to have a perfectly smooth scrotum as well. So it's good to see that he's now aging and beginning to look like a scrotum because he's got so many wrinkles.
Right. Okay.
What was the thing I didn't like in the trailer was the captain's like talking about his career and just like, you're just a captain or whatever. But it's like, it's fine, you know, it's fine to just stay at your rank
I don't
in your
understand.
job.
I don't understand what the ranks are. He said you could be a 2-star admiral.
Yeah,
by
I'm
now
guessing
in the
that's
trailer.
very,
Say
very high.
captain.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also like, who cares? If he's having, you know, if someone said to me, like, you could be doing higher than your job, and I was happy where I was, it's like, I get to fly jets. I don't care.
Do you feel like the famous phrase in the first Top Gun is now resonating much more in the second one?
Which is,
Where
what's that?
is it? I don't know the rank of the guy. His superior in the first one says to him, "Oh, you're dangerous, Maverick. Your ego's writing checks your body can't cash, son." Is Tom Cruise's ego now writing checks that his body can't cash because he's so far into the aging process?
Do you know what? I hope the best thing that comes out of this is Hot Shots 3.
Yes. Oh, get
The
Charlie
fir-
Sheen back.
Yeah. The
that's
first Hot Shots is so good. I love that movie.
Also, I don't know if you saw just a very short clip in the trailer was it looked like they were doing another beach sport, but it looked like it was American football this time. So they're doing the volleyball scene again.
That's what really troubled me. And I think that's a really easy mistake to fall into.
Yeah.
You've got Tom Cruise with his shirt off, massive man boobs.
Well, no, I think it's probably introducing the next generation of...
Yeah, because so Miles Teller is going to be Bradley Bradshaw, apparently. Who's
John Johnson.
who's going to be not Maverick's son, Goose's son.
Okay. Well, he looks nothing like the actor who played Goose.
Well, be that as it may, like
That in the first film, that volleyball scene is pointless.
oh, it's perfect.
Well, it's incredibly homoerotic.
Yeah, it is.
Too much arse slapping or not enough for you, Jack?
Yeah, fair point.
When's this out?
2020. Val Kilmer's coming back for it as well.
Ooh, Iceman.
Iceman.
That bit's incredibly homoerotic as well. In the changing room.
I mean, a lot of the films from the 80s were as well, though. So
That's true.
What's that? What does he say to him in that clip?
what?
He comes up to him in the
original-
locker room.
I don't know. You
I
got
can't
the soap.
No, he says something to Val Kilmer, and then Iceman just kind of clamps his jaw shut.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's odd.
Yeah, I don't know why this is being made, to be honest, but It'll be fun. It'll be a fun watch.
Yeah, I'm very keen to watch it because it's going to be really stupid.
I'm sure the music's going to be pretty cool in it, and the visuals will be amazing.
Yeah.
The story will be very thin.
Do you think we're going to get Highway to the Danger Zone as like a ballad in the
I
background?
hope
Highway to...
Just played on an acoustic.
Yeah, just
with
on
some
an
pan
acoustic.
pipes in the background.
And then the final scene with the big crescendo. No, I think it's going to follow the arc of the first one, but look to update it with modern technology or themes.
Well, I mean, Tom Cruise will be kind of like the old mentor, from what I imagine.
Maybe, though.
You're
Maybe
a
they'll
maverick.
focus more on the Iraq War than tensions between Russia and America, because it always follows that kind of... follows the political context of the time, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. What was the original one of those movies that was actually a what's it called? Oh, what do they call it when you want to hire someone for the military?
What?
Is that kind of propaganda? It's not propaganda. Like Under Siege.
Right.
That was like part financed, I think, by the U.S. Navy as like a recruitment.
Oh, God.
Yeah, to get people interested in the movie, because I think there's a quote in it, or it's at the end, and it's just like
Ivan
it is that, and Steven Seagal says something like the Navy. Oh, what's it? It's like it's a way of life, not
It's
a
rad,
job.
man.
Yeah. So yeah,
The Navy, salary starting from...
I'm just a chef.
Yeah.
Should we go through these Emmy
nominations.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when exactly is the Emmys coming?
So Emmys is the Oscars of TV, right?
Correct. Yeah. So the Emmy Awards will be on September the 22nd. So we've got a couple of months yet, but the nominations needed to be in the start of this week, I believe.
And do you know who votes on this? Is this industry voted in? Okay.
So that they're put forward by the network that the TVs are on, the programs
right.
are
Okay.
on. So, for example, HBO puts forward the episodes or the characters.
The latest series of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Did they actually?
Of course.
Huh.
Yeah. So just quickly go through some of the main categories. I don't think we need to go through all of them.
No.
So outstanding drama series. Oh, there's a boat going past again now.
It sounded like someone jumped in the water or something.
I think it was a rib.
Oh, okay, jumping along.
Yeah.
Cut that bit out.
So outstanding drama series. Better Call Saul has been nominated.
Yeah.
My brother's a big fan of that.
It's fantastic.
Yeah,
So
I've heard
good.
it's really good. I've sent to you the other day. I haven't watched any of it, but I will get round to it after an insane amount of other programs that I need to watch now. My list of programs and films just keeps getting way longer, and I can't.
I'd like to see Vince Gilligan work on another project.
Well, he's doing the movie for Breaking Bad, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it's all... I'd like to see him move away from that franchise and found something different.
Yeah, fresh idea.
Because his writing's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Bodyguard has also been nominated. Richard Madden.
Brother of Benji and
See
the
it.
other Madden.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that as well, and that's probably done his career the world of good. He was obviously in Game of Thrones and he was a big name, but that series was gripping. You're on the edge of your seat for the entire thing.
Did you hear the Americans getting confused when they were watching this, though? Did you hear about this?
No.
So, do you know what the plot is?
Is it the same as the movie with...
No.
No.
So
Okay.
he's the bodyguard of...
The Home Secretary.
The Home Secretary.
Right.
And they have a bit of...
An affair, basically.
An affair. But because the way the political system works in the UK, he keeps calling her Mom, but in a Scottish accent, which sounds like Mum. So the Americans thought that it was actually his mum, and then they started like getting off. They were like, what is going on? And Twitter kind of blew up. So that's been nominated. Yeah, good things about that. Game of Thrones, obviously, we won't go into it.
No.
Everyone has their
We
feelings.
don't have enough time.
We do not have enough time, especially... No, we're not going into it. Killing Eve with Sandra Oh. And
I heard that was really good.
Yeah,
I need to see
So,
that.
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of these BBC programs, for me, they kind of peter off during the subsequent series. Like Line of Duty was really good in the first couple of series, but then since then I think it's got worse and worse. And I hope that doesn't happen with Killing Eve, but you never know. Ozark, you heard of this? It's on Netflix.
I've heard of it. I've not seen it.
No, I haven't seen it. No, I haven't seen any of these other ones. So it's Ozark, Pose, Succession, and This Is Us. I've heard This Is Us is really, really good. But I imagine they're going to give it to Game of Thrones, to be honest.
No, I don't think they can.
I think they will.
I think there'll be even more outcry.
I think it'll go to Killing Eve or...
You reckon?
Yeah, or The Bodyguard, maybe.
Yeah, potentially. Outstanding comedy series. There's... Chime in if you've heard anything about any of these.
Barry's awesome. I've watched the first series of Barry. It's so good.
What's it about?
It's Bill Hader. Do you know him? Yeah. He is a mercenary, a professional assassin, a hitman.
He doesn't strike me as the type.
No, and so he's got a job in LA to kill someone, and he follows the guy into an acting class, and then he's kind of like, he's disenchanted with being a hitman, and he's like, oh, maybe this is my calling in life. So he starts going to acting classes, but also he's kind of like, the first guy he has to assassinate is like kind of how it connects a lot of like different gangs in these situations. So he's like juggling acting class and being a hitman. It's really funny. It's really dark. I really recommend it.
Is it like a black comedy then?
Yeah. It's in line with like kind of Fargo type vibes, and there's only 8 episodes in the series, so it's like,
I really like Bill Hader as well.
Yeah, he's great.
He's done some great things.
Yeah.
So there's that one. There's Fleabag.
Yeah, I've heard that's really funny.
No,
I've never seen it, but
Russian Doll.
No.
Schitt's Creek. The Good Place.
No.
The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel and Veep. No.
Sorry.
I've heard of Veep before, and
I just don't watch a lot of comedies at the moment. Because there's just so many good dramas and limited series out there that take up all my time.
There's so much television, isn't there?
Yeah.
So much.
I mean, the other day, like when Game of Thrones was ending, and obviously Breaking Bad ended a few years ago, like I was kind of thinking, like, are we coming to the end of that like golden age of television?
Didn't Breaking Bad end like 7 years ago, mate?
Shut up. Is it 7 years ago?
It's a long time ago.
No.
The last season came out while we were at university, I think.
Damn.
2012, 13?
Yeah.
On that point, that was 6 years ago we graduated.
I know.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So when we met up with our friends Rosie and Lorna yesterday, we were going for drinks. The first thing both of them said to me, independently of each other, because I went to the bar with Rosie initially, was, "You look really distinguished with all that white in your hair now." And it really set in for me that this is it.
Over the hill.
I'm over the hill.
Yeah.
My prime is behind me.
I mean, you hurt your ankle, 3 months ago?
2.5 months ago. Snapped it. And it's, I still can't play any sport.
It'll never be the same, mate. It will never be the same.
I've lost that yard of pace.
Yeah.
That's quite a nice compliment, though.
It was okay.
Never did Clooney any problems, did it?
Yeah.
I guess so, but I'm not George Clooney. If you haven't noticed. I'm not a heartthrob who got his acting break in ER, so...
Well, you never know.
Limited series is quite interesting. I think everyone knows what the winner's going to be. But so the nominees are Escape at Dannemora, Verdon, Sharp Objects, When They See Us, and Chernobyl.
Yeah, Chernobyl will
Chernobyl.
stroll that.
Never seen it.
Not great, not terrible.
What? Chernobyl?
It's a reference.
To what?
There's a bit in the first episode that's become a meme where they're asking how many Röntgens are they registering in the reactor.
Right.
And he says 3.6, and the basically criminal who's running the operation goes 3.6, not great, not terrible, and everyone's made it into a meme.
That's now officially the best TV series of all time, isn't it?
According to who?
Rated.
Oh.
Rated.
I'm not getting into that. I'm not going to touch that.
Okay.
It's very good, but not for me.
All right. I still think Chernobyl will win that, though, won't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without seeing the others, I mean, the acclaim and
the
attention
only
it got.
criticism I've heard is that people would like to have watched it just in Russian with subtitles.
Yeah, it was a bit jarring having Irish and English accents on a number of the characters.
Right.
But they wanted to use those actors, so.
Well, they did. It opens with the emergency call in Russian after the reactor explodes, which is quite good. That puts you in the moment, I find. But I take that as a criticism. That is a good point.
Outstanding drama actor, we got Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah, fantastic. Saul Goodman.
Yeah.
Jason Bateman from Ozark. A couple from This Is Us, but again, I haven't seen it. And then Kit Harington's been nominated for Game of Thrones.
That is
I don't want to.
Shocking.
Especially for this season. I don't know. I have a lot of... I don't think it deserved as much hate as it got, the final season of Game of Thrones.
No, I think everyone's that outraged because they expected more from it, rather than it was a bad season. But his acting doesn't credit any kind of award nomination.
Right.
No. If you're looking just at acting ability, he shouldn't win it.
No.
Really?
Not at all. Bob Odenkirk, though, that'd be great if he won.
He gets my vote.
The next category is quite interesting because it's outstanding drama actress, and so Emilia Clarke's been put forward. Game of Thrones.
She was good.
Robin Wright for House of Cards. Viola Davis for How to Get Away with Murder, which I heard is absolutely incredible.
Viola Davis is amazing.
And of course, she's an amazing actress as well. But then again, we have Killing Eve, and both of the protagonist and the antagonist of Sandra Oh and Jodie Comer. The only problem with that is it could split the vote. That's what you find with a lot of these things, where you got the fans of the... I mean, it nearly happened with The Favourite, didn't it? With like Emma Stone and Rachel Weisz. Who's going to win the best supporting actress?
Who's going to be the best queen?
Did Rachel Weisz win that?
Yeah.
Did she?
Don't know.
I mean, I think you had the fact that Emma Stone won for La La Land.
Yeah.
A couple of years
normally
before.
Get these kind of things. But again, this is kind of why I think Game of Thrones might kind of clean up at this one, because it's finished. And there's, for example, there's another supporting actress award that we'll come on to where they might retrospectively look over the whole program and give it to someone. Because, well, we'll come on to that. So, I've
got a question. I don't know if you guys will know this, but what's the deal with actor-actress? Because I thought now it should be gender neutral, like everyone is an actor, male or female, regardless. But in these awards, they do actor-actress. Is that a thing? Am I imagining that?
Yeah,
I don't know the rules.
I think the problem with making it one category is it probably takes away some of the recognition for actresses.
Of course. Yeah.
In a male-dominated industry, that's going to be inevitable.
Yeah.
I don't mind. It's kind of like the Olympics, right? You'll always have male and female events.
I was just wondering, like, I never know whether it's taboo if I say actress when talking about a female actor. That's what I wasn't sure, because obviously they have to do it in award shows for the reasons you said. But I just wasn't sure. Just thought I'd ask you guys.
I call them either. I'm not sure what the preferred.
Yeah.
What the preferred statement is on that.
Yeah.
Well, email in if you know.
Yeah. So just talking about actresses, the outstanding supporting actress in a drama series. So we got Lena Headey for Game of Thrones, Gwendolyn Christie for Game of Thrones, Sophie Turner from Game of Thrones, and Maisie Williams from Game of Thrones.
All great names.
I would have to give that to Gwendolyn Christie, I think.
Well, okay. So
sorry, 4 of the how many nominations?
4. And then there's 2 others. There's Fiona Shaw for Killing Eve and Julia Garner for Ozark. But the point I wanted to bring up is the last season was probably the worst Lena Headey season.
Yeah, I wouldn't give it to her.
Absolutely unbelievable for the entire program, but she's never won for Best Supporting Actress, an Emmy. So I'm kind of leaning towards they're going to give it to her, even though all she did this season was drink wine and look out a window.
Well, no, and also the denial of losing the power at the end of the season and trying to protect her unborn child, the fear in her eyes. I thought she acted that really well.
Oh no, she's probably the best actor in Game of Thrones.
I thought Sophie Turner was actually pretty good as well.
Yeah. Do you know the controversy about Gwendolyn Christie with this?
No.
She had to nominate herself, you said.
Yeah. So
why?
The clickbait articles that I've been reading try to portray it as, they didn't want to nominate Gwendolyn Christie, so power to her. She nominated herself, but I don't think that's what happened. I think HBO probably have a quota of the maximum amount of people they can nominate for the award.
Okay.
She didn't make the cut, but they said to her, look, you can still nominate yourself, and the Academy will take it into consideration. They did take it into consideration. She got on the card.
Okay.
I think the most touching moments that season and the best acted moments were Gwendolyn Christie's scenes.
Yeah.
The bit where she becomes a knight, her relationship with Jamie.
Yeah. I mean,
she was amazing.
It's a tough category, that one. I don't know who you'd give it to. And then supporting actor, you got another Jonathan Banks, Better Call Saul.
Yep.
Alfie Allen, Game of Thrones. Nicola Costa-Waldau, Game of Thrones. Peter Dinklage, Game of Thrones.
Dink.
Michael Kelly, House of Cards, and Chris Sullivan, This Is Us.
It wasn't Dinklage this time round. And if they give it to him, I'll be quite upset.
I don't know if he's already won one, though.
Yeah, he has.
So I don't think...
Alfie Allen was actually incredible.
Think, again, he had to nominate himself.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. So...
Wow.
That's the funny thing about it. I think outstanding supporting actor should go to Alfie Allen, and actress should go to Gwendolyn Christie.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think both of their arcs came to the most satisfying end. Maybe that's why I preferred their acting in the final season. But
yeah,
I can't comment much because I've not seen it. So
yeah,
but I'm not to bring that up. Just to it's fine. I won't watch it.
Yeah,
I cannot give an opinion.
There's obviously lots more categories, but I haven't seen enough of these films to comment. The only one thing I did want to bring up is the episode that HBO put forward as their the best episode of TV. Essentially, I can't remember what the actual category is called, but they did the Iron Throne,
the final episode
of the season. That's what they put forward as their standout, which to me is a terrible idea because it's so much controversy behind it.
Yeah,
it was a bad episode.
I wonder if there's any acknowledgement in that they're kind of acknowledging that I know a lot of people hated this, so instead of putting one of the maybe fan favorite episodes, they put one that will split people, maybe as some kind of fairness thing. I don't know.
It's weird because the third episode, I think it is the climax of 8 seasons worth of story between the living and the dead.
Yeah.
And that was, everyone complained that it was dark.
Yeah.
The lighting was too dark. You couldn't see what was going on, which is a legitimate complaint because I couldn't see anything that was going on. I shut all the windows, got all the blinds down, was literally hands over eyes trying to peer into what was happening.
If you watch that with a good TV or something with really quite impressive blacks, then it's not that bad.
Yeah.
But a lot of people watched it during the day with sun coming in from the windows and stuff. That's what I was saying. Yeah. So the category is outstanding writing from a drama series where you put forward one episode, and they put forward the Iron Throne, whereas episode 2, when it was before this big battle, basically, where it was kind of everyone was saying goodbye to the characters because they all thought they were going to die, and they were just having their last character moments. And
lots of interesting interactions.
Yeah, people you haven't seen together before, talking about family histories and stuff. And that whole episode was writing based. And why they're not putting that forward is just crazy.
Yeah, it's a shame.
But anyway, we should probably move on to something that you've seen.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's quite interesting to hear your guys' take on it, because actually, the fact that it's such a controversial last series actually makes me want to watch it, because I kind of want to see what happened, but I know I won't because it's so much time to. I'm not going to say waste, but give up.
I think the main thing to take away is that people aren't angry at the Game of Thrones as such. It's just why didn't you make this 2 seasons or 3 seasons? There's no it was just getting too expensive, I think. But they basically had 2 antagonists for 1 season, and it ended up being 3 antagonists, really, didn't it?
Yeah.
And there's no reason why that couldn't have been done over 2 or 3 seasons more.
I think the budget got pulled by HBO.
Yeah,
they were very much.
Well, they want to move on.
Now.
They want to move on to the prequels, don't they? And like actors want to move on and stuff. Like I don't know.
Fair.
Anyway, so that's the Emmys.
Well, I read somewhere that Kit Harington had gone into rehab as well.
I read that. I don't know. Is that true? Or is it just...
I think that's true. And that he was exhausted. So potentially part of the reason they thought to close the season off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I imagine Chernobyl will clean up. Game of Thrones will clean up, and hopefully Killing Eve or The Bodyguard, some British drama would do well. That'd be nice.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So into our main topic, the battle for the Best Picture award, as I'm going to call it. Where are we? So we're very confusing with numbers. This is the 67th Academy Awards, which happened in 1995 with movies from 1994.
Yes.
If anyone wants to follow along, that's it. So what we're going to do is just take the Best Picture category, and we are going to go through these movies and decide if the winner should be the true winner, right?
Yeah, it was deserving.
Whether it's deserved this win or not, and
we thought we'd start off with one of the most stacked Best Picture categories of all time.
Yeah,
definitely. This is an easy one to start off with. It's got films that most people have seen, and it's pretty controversial, I think.
Oh, do you? That's interesting.
Easy to say. But yeah, do you want to run us through who was in the category?
So I'll just say as well that we're going to do this like as a recurring thing every so often.
Yeah.
We'll just bring this up. Usually when we don't have an idea to think of.
when there's nothing good in the cinema, we can't be bothered to think of anything else.
Yeah, this is going to be like a fallback. But so this year has Pulp Fiction, Four Weddings and a Funeral, Shawshank Redemption, Quiz Show, and the winner was Forrest Gump. Yeah. Where do you guys want to start?
Well, I mean, I think we'll save which one was our favourite or where we rank them for last.
Definitely, yeah.
So maybe just speak around each one.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, so the one we hadn't seen was Quiz Show.
Yeah.
Initially, and we watched it fairly recently. Well, in fact, this morning. And I was quite taken aback with it. I didn't know what to expect going in.
Yeah.
It's based on a true story, which I didn't realise at first.
Yep.
And you've got a young Ralph Fiennes.
Yep.
Ralph
Fiennes.
Yeah. In a Robert Redford movie.
Yep.
And I have to say, I really enjoyed it.
Did you?
Yeah.
I actually like that kind of movie. It sort of goes towards courtroom drama. It's basically like a legal chase, I guess. Really.
I thought there were lots of different
like a
themes in
you
it.
can kind
well,
of thing.
Not like that, but it's more like one of those, uncover, I guess like Spotlight. If you've seen it, uncover like, a wrongdoing, and someone's trying to bring it to justice, really.
And you don't really know who the protagonists and antagonists are.
Yeah, and I liked that in this movie, that the antagonist gradually shifts. Like at the top, obviously TV producers are the devil, which we've known for a few years.
Yeah.
But yeah, this movie's really good in that there is a shift around, like you're not specifically rooting for someone. Like so the main lawyer at the start, he kind of doesn't start off as the protagonist. He's kind of more of a douchey lawyer.
Yeah, and people are making fun of him in his department.
Yeah, and he's this kind
Here
of
he comes,
like...
he's going to say he was top of his class at Harvard Law.
Yeah.
Do you remember that bit?
Yeah.
But then he obviously becomes the antagonist, and then you start with Ralph Fiennes, who is probably the protagonist at the start, and then he sort of becomes...
I think also as well, like it was 25 years ago that this film came out now, and it might resonate with people watching it more nowadays, with so much distrust in the media and corporations and such. That's what I kind of took away from it. Like you're saying earlier, like we know that the owners are douchebags, but that's definitely something that's more and more prevalent in this day and age.
Yeah, and I wonder if it was like more of a relevant movie in 1994. Because maybe that was the first time people were exposed to actually there's a lot of bad blokes behind the scenes. But now when it started to come out in the movie, I was like, well, yeah, this sort of.
So
it wasn't like a big
when
shock.
When was
no
it
way.
set? Like 57?
57.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they said 2 years ago, and that was 1995. Right?
And that's what I wanted to highlight is that you get the opening scene with Goodwin, who's the lawyer, Richard Goodwin, who is trying out this car in a car dealership, and the car dealer says, try the radio out. And when he puts the radio on, the radio announcement is that the Russians have just launched Sputnik to mark the start of the space race, which
also,
I thought really nicely contextualized the
At
entire
the
film.
time when we were watching it, we both kind of looked at each other and were like, where are they going with this? But right, like the whole, it really set it up well, I thought.
Like defined the era.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And also quite relevant because we're 50 years from the moon landing.
So we're halfway between the moon landing and this film now.
Yeah.
This movie was 25 years ago.
Of course,
yeah. Wow.
That's crazy.
How's that?
Performances?
Amazing. The acting in it is really good.
Yeah. I'm not typically a big fan of Ralph Fiennes, but I thought his performances, Van Doren, is his name, was incredible. He was...
Yeah.
There so many good performances, in fact.
The
Herbert,
main... What's he called? John Turturro? It's on the screen. Turturro.
Yeah.
He's really good.
He's had an up and down career, though, hasn't he?
Has he?
Yeah, I mean, he's... Most recently, I mean, what's he been doing? The Transformer films?
Yeah, I don't know.
But no, he's a great actor.
Yeah. The dialogue between all the characters is really good.
Yeah, the only thing I had a little bit of an issue with was the final 30 minutes.
I've written exactly the same thing. It
felt it did that whole Lord of the Rings thing where you're like, is this the ending? No. Okay.
Yeah.
Is this the ending? No. Right, we're getting a bit more.
What, you didn't like the last 30 minutes? Or?
No, not really.
No.
Well, in a way, I would have liked it all to be more focused on the courtroom battles.
No, I really liked the final 30 minutes, and I thought it was because Van Doren comes out and his morality is finally comes into the light, and you have Herb watching the court case unfold, and he's kind of he's stunned that Van Doren's admitting that they gave him the answers, and then you also have the storyline between him and his father. So his father comes to the court to support him.
Yeah.
Because the whole scene prior to that, he admits to his father what he's done, and his father says, "You have my name."
Yeah.
Paul Schofield was amazing.
Yeah.
I thought that as well.
Yeah,
I thought
really
he was
good.
incredible.
The father,
The only thing I found about the last 30 minutes that I guess it started to get a bit muddled. I felt like there's
a lot of moving pieces.
that they have to join up, and
who is it who went to Mexico?
Oh, the guy.
The guy that said like, "Oh, they could torture me and I wouldn't say."
It was the guy. Yeah, it was the artist that when that clip that he figured out that they were giving away the answers. It was that artist went to Mexico. I think. Right. Yeah, the guy that self-posted him the envelope with the clip. Yeah, him. Yeah. I definitely see why it made the cut for Best Picture.
Yeah,
it's very good.
I loved it.
Yeah. I'd never heard of it before.
No, me neither.
Was surprising. Like when we decided to do this at the start of the week, I was like, I never looked at the list and I was like, Pulp Fiction, iconic.
Yeah.
Like Forrest Gump, same. Like, and then you'd see Quiz Show, and I was like, what is this random film at the bottom here? But
it addresses so many different things as well, so well.
Yeah.
So you had that whole space race thing going on in the background, the rise of television and how corporations were basically manipulating people into buying certain products. So you've got is it Gelisol? What's the tonic?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
That they're promoting through 21, which is the quiz show.
Yep.
That there's definitely dirty dealings going on between the CEO of this medical company and the head of NBC. And then beyond that, you've got the father-son relationship between the Van Dorens, which I thought was really interesting. So his dad's a professor at Columbia, and then he's followed in his footsteps and done the same thing. And you get this impression that Ralph Fiennes' character really wants to impress his father and carry on the family line.
And there's also very good, because it's not so prevalent in American culture as it is in English culture, but there's a very prevalent like class thing. You've got sort of the Jewish guy who's like from Queens. You've got Ray Fiennes' character is very rich, old American money, and then the lawyer kind of sits somewhere in between. Like,
I think he's from Brooklyn. He says.
Yeah, from Brooklyn, but he's made his name. Like, he's worked hard for it. So that's really well done. I think, like combining all that.
Yeah, and Charles is shocked that Richard is as intelligent as he is.
Yeah,
I think that's
it's
the
kind
other
of like
dynamic.
a Good Will Hunting kind of similar.
Yeah.
Like the kid from just a normal background.
And you do get that cat and mouse between the lawyer and Charles, who's basically the fraud at this point and going on the show every week.
Did you see the twist of Herbie Semple being fed answers coming? Because throughout the film, I just thought, he is the smartest guy. He's been wronged out of it, and then it turns out that he was also fed answers by the show.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't like a massive reveal. I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
I did expect it.
Yeah, it wasn't.
To be honest,
wasn't a huge thing.
But you see how that absolute power of being given the answers corrupts each of them.
Yeah.
In turn. So Herbert kind of goes. Well, they're saying that he's been to 5 psychiatry sessions a week because he's dealing with mental health issues. Yeah. And then you see what it does to Charles. He kind of becomes this public celebrity, and he's lapping it all up, and he loves the fame and adulation that goes along with it.
Yeah.
And then he buys his father a television for his birthday.
That was so funny.
Purely so his father can watch him on the quiz show.
And he waits and is like, I need to tie my shoelace when he's in the car for people to come out, so then he can go and get that adulation, like you're saying.
Yeah.
The only one thing I was also a little bit disappointed with was the way in which he like kind of uncovered the truth. Being he looked back at Jack Barry kind of double taking.
Yeah. So
on
my name
on that answer. Remember when he was like, "Oh no, that's not right," and he was like, "Oh wait, did you say Emily Dickinson?"
Yeah. So the guy's he's meant to take a dive, but
he's meant to take a dive and then doesn't. But then the Jack Barry like double takes, and I was like, "Oh, that could have been smarter." Like the way he figured it out.
But I think that's kind of more realistic, especially if you're a TV presenter who's because I think the way they set that up was before like the quiz show, the TV show in the movie happened. You'd have Jack Barry like prepping himself up, and he's doing all those like at the start. He's like, "Hi, my name's Jack Barry." Before it goes to
like
recording.
The start of Anchorman. He does all the vocal exercises. The assassin had oddly shaped feet. Unique New York.
I think because they set that up, I kind of understood why he responded like that, because he seems like a very I'm forgetting Will Ferrell's character's name in Anchorman, but
Ron Burgundy.
Yeah, Ron Burgundy. He seems like quite a simple Anchorman.
I was taken aback that my namesake was a big dirty crook.
That was good. So, any more things on it? Do you want to say?
No, I know. No, solid film. I can fully see why it was nominated.
I thought the most interesting part was the court case where they all kind of ridiculed Herbert Stemple because of his class, because he was this Jewish man from Queens. They all made it about his mental health, and they all just dismissed him. Despite, he was kind of acting up to the crowd as well. He was completely going off script that Richard Goodwin had given him. And then when Charles Van Doren came to the stand to give his admission, 4 of the senators, district attorneys, gave their commendation for him being so honest, and said it was a really soul-searching testimony he'd given. But there were parallels between that and the corporations controlling and feeding the answers on the quiz show. It's almost like they'd been told to be like, very soul-searching got said about 3 times. And I was like, what is going on? This is just weird now.
And then there's the one that was just like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, it's good that you were so honest, but you cannot be commended for your actions up to this point.
Yeah.
And then everyone in the audience applauded him.
Yeah.
So as they should, because,
But in the case of television and what they saw, they're all being completely duped.
Yeah.
So it was kind of this seeing behind the curtain for the millions at home, as he called them, for the first time. They all saw the truth.
Yeah.
And it took that senior figure to call out this rich, nepotistic individual. That was my favourite bit.
Yeah, solid movie. I'd recommend it. I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyone that hasn't seen it, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely
If
worth
you're
a
in
watch.
in the mood for those kind of like.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not like a put on kind of switch off, like have it on in the background movies. It's definitely you're gonna have to pay attention.
I tell you what, I don't think should be in this list is 4 Weddings and a Funeral.
I don't know.
I agree.
Thank you.
It's very funny.
It is. It is, but it's not. I don't know. I feel like it doesn't hold up. I think all the other movies in this list, you could put them forward now for a nomination, and it would be fair game. But I think with this, if you put it forward, it would be laughed away.
I think but like we said earlier, this was a stacked category that year.
True.
Like the Oscars go through cycles. There's some years that there's absolute trash, and in those years, 4 Weddings would have won. But
that's a good point.
Like that, like I can't remember. I think it's 1998 when Shakespeare in Love wins best film.
Yeah.
Where 4 Weddings and a Funeral would have smashed that.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah, you're right though. It does kind of stand out in this list. But it's a solid film. Again, we watched it this week, and it had me laughing at parts. And then the funeral scene is really well acted.
Yeah, it is.
Really emotional.
It's like
John Hannah, who again like hasn't had a huge amount of like amazing acting credits, but he is a great actor. I mean, I most recently saw him on. He's been in a couple seasons of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
You watched that?
Yeah, I watched it. I was going to try and deny that I watched it then, but I thought, no. Which is terrible. Well, no, the first couple seasons were all right, but then it went downhill. Hugh Grant is really good.
Yeah. I'm a fan of his.
He looks amazing in that film.
Yeah.
His hair is incredible.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Not getting onto hair again.
He looks really like a friend of ours called Andre.
He does.
Really?
Yeah, really
I'd
looks
like to meet
Andre.
him.
In 90s version of Hugh Grant. Not
Amazing.
so much.
Yeah.
He's got those floppy curtains.
Yeah, I think it was such an amazing film, and that's with the terrible performance from Andie MacDowell. Like, if you'd had...
She is awful.
She's very bad.
Who is she in this again?
She's the love interest, the American love
Carrie.
interest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and what I was thinking, I was like, think of how many amazing, like, early 90s actresses you could have got for this. Like, Meg Ryan or, like, Julia Roberts or someone like that. Like,
This might not quite resonate with Joe, but do you find, upon viewing of that film, obviously they go to the wedding between Carrie and her Scottish husband, I think it is.
Yeah.
Do you find that marriage and commitment is something that plays on your mind quite a lot at the age we're at? Because it really put it in harsh perspective for me.
well, as a married man, I'd like to weigh in on
Yeah, exactly.
I actually no, that's one thing that kind of bugs me about these type of movies where you've got all these pairings and everyone has to be paired up and be in a couple and get married.
Because that's what Gareth says to them. He says he wants them all to find love because marriage is this thing that all of them are ushering away. And yeah, it's the main concern of the movie.
Yeah.
Obviously, apart from the funeral.
Yeah.
Rowan Atkinson was pretty good in this one as well.
Yeah.
As the priest.
Yeah. No, the comedy is very, very 90s.
Yeah.
But it is good. It is funny.
Yeah. It is a solid movie. I just don't think it's up there. Especially with the other films. They could have just not had it. I don't, because it's not like it's a box ticker or anything like that.
No.
I don't really understand the sustenance of putting it in.
There are some really clever parts in it. I think Joe touched on the funeral scene and the speech. That's incredibly moving. That's a really great scene. And there's also... I've completely forgotten now. No, it's not going to come back to me.
Well, there's the bit in the speech where he's talking about like how Gareth always knew that he was more likely to go to a funeral than be at his own wedding as a gay man. So I mean, it's it touches on some really important points as well.
Yeah, I think that's quite important actually, because surely that must be one of the first times a gay couple is recognised in a movie. Would you say?
I don't really.
Especially
I
something.
couldn't possibly comment.
I don't know.
No.
I feel
I know the first like gay kiss was around about that time in Star Trek, wasn't it?
No, that was the first interracial kiss.
Oh, was that the first interracial kiss?
And that was
Yeah.
also in the 60s.
Oh wow.
So what I wanted to say I've remembered was Hugh Grant's brother in the film who uses sign language to communicate because he's deaf. There's his wedding scene where he's meant to be marrying Duckface. Do we get a name for? I think we do get a name for her, but everyone calls her Duckface.
They could have called her something a lot worse.
Yeah. He gets him out of it because he's going to go ahead with the wedding, isn't he? And then his brother starts signing to him, and no one other than him can understand what he's saying.
Hugh Grant actually learned British Sign Language for his scenes as well.
I've got level 1.
Have you?
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
And then he gets out of that wedding via the sign language conversation he has with his brother.
Nice.
But he has to speak out loud what his brother's signing at him, and
okay.
he's not he kind of paraphrases. He's not entirely faithful to what he's saying.
That's a good get out of jail card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A brother who knows sign language. But I suppose, do you think he would have gone ahead with it if his brother didn't start?
Well, maybe it's like, oh, what did he actually say? I don't know. You could do that.
And then you get the nice comedy element after where they're all sat inside discussing what's happened.
Yeah.
And he says, I feel terrible about it in sign language. He says, I blame myself. And Hugh Grant goes, he says he blames himself. They're all like, oh, no, you can't, you mustn't. And Hugh Grant just signs back at him, they all blame you as well.
Yeah, I mean, this film is classed as a romance comedy drama, and I think it really like juggles those three genres very well. Like, I didn't cry at the funeral scene, but it was very emotional. But then, like you're saying, like 2 minutes later, you're laughing out loud. I just wish I could have believed that romance a bit more. Like, and what I didn't realise, like, I watched this film a long time ago, and then watched it again this week. I didn't realise that they're awful people.
Yeah.
Like, Hugh Grant's character and Annie McDowell's character are just, they're not nice people. Like, they're like having an affair. They're both going to get married. Like,
She leads him on about 3 times.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yep.
Yeah, and then divorces her husband,
Yeah.
who was much older than her, so we assume there's maybe some financial motive behind that. Because he was relatively wealthy and relatively moneyed.
Yeah.
They are awful people. They're terrible, terrible people, and they don't deserve the happy ending they get. And yet they do.
And was the person that died the nicest one out of the lot?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Do we think so? I mean, he was quite exuberant.
How did he die again? He's had a
He had a
heart
heart attack.
In the best
at
man's...
the wedding.
Yeah.
It was the bridegroom's
That's
speech.
it. Bridegroom
Yeah.
Street.
I mean, also, they all kept getting invited to each other's weddings, but, like, we didn't really know how they knew each other and stuff, which is quite interesting.
I was going to say the most iconic or the standout moment of the film is probably the start. The Mini Cooper going backwards on the motorway and the fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I think that's what people mostly remember. If you say 4 weddings and a funeral, they'll probably quote you that line.
Yeah.
Or that expletive multiple times.
And was this the birth of those that type of movie? Obviously, you get Notting Hill,
Love
and
Actually.
Love
is the other
Actually.
one that stands
Yeah,
out. It's Richard E. Curtis.
Yeah,
writes them
yeah.
all.
Is this the first one, though? Is it?
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, I
okay.
feel like it's the birth of that kind of a lot of tropes. I think of those British movies. But saying that, it's nice to have a British movie, I guess, in Hollywood.
They're quite the team. Richard E. Curtis and Hugh Grant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what do we want to go with next? Shawshank.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's talk Shawshank.
I mean, this is a great movie.
Yeah, I've
up
only
top.
seen it a couple of times a while ago, so I'll let you kind of lead on with.
Okay.
what it's,
Well,
Shawshank's definitely in my top 5 of all time.
yeah, I think I'd probably be.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that too. It's just, I did a bit of research on it, and one thing I read that I thought, actually, this is quite nice. It's like, obviously, there's a story about redemption in there, but also just the genuine, like, male friendship without any kind of, like, action buddy or anything of that. It's just, like, two guys that have a friendship through this thing.
Yeah.
You know that, and I thought that's quite nice because you don't see a lot of that, like male friendships in cinema, apart from if it's like two cops or those kind of tropes.
And I suppose the nice thing there is that it should be a necessary friendship because he's in prison and he needs to make a group of friends to protect himself. But it's a friendship that sustains throughout the film for the right reasons rather than any wrong reasons, I guess.
Yeah. It's really well done. I mean, amazingly acted, especially by the two leads.
Yeah, and the voiceover work is iconic, isn't it?
Yeah.
What I didn't realise is this was... I knew it was Stephen King, but it's based on a short story.
Yes, Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank.
But that's only like 100 pages, isn't it? And Red in that is called Red because he's an Irish guy with red hair. And they do that. That's like a throwaway line in the film. Where it's like, oh, maybe I'm Irish or something.
It's a good joke.
Yeah. But they also, in the same... Because he used to publish multiple short stories in the same thing.
Yeah.
And that short story is in the same collection as The Body, which was later made into Stand By Me.
Oh, that's a great movie. Interesting you say that.
Stand By Me.
Yeah,
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's really good. You know, Stephen King a lot of the time doesn't like his movie adaptations.
Yeah.
Shawshank and Stand By Me, I think, are his two favourites.
And think those come from 100-page novellas, basically.
Is Stand By Me a young River Phoenix?
Yeah, I think
it
so.
is.
And a young Sean Astin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great cast.
Yeah, really good. And also quite amazing for
Isn't Thing in
kids
that
to
as
lead
well?
a movie.
What's
Yeah,
his
that's
name?
It's almost well, it is a coming of age story, isn't it? Yeah.
Because the most time with child actors, it's do they annoy you or not is usually like the basis of their acting. So for them to like hold down a movie is pretty amazing. I think.
Yeah, that's a fantastic film.
Will Wheaton's in that as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, of Star Trek fame.
Yeah.
I also read an interesting thing of.
And Kiefer Sutherland. Forgot that as well.
Oh yeah, that was
Just staying on the book very briefly. In that it ends with Red being released, and I think the final line, or one of the final lines, is, "And I really hope that I see him again."
Yeah.
They don't actually do that meeting.
Yeah.
Do you think that was a good creative decision to actually?
I really liked it because
Yeah.
he goes to the tree, doesn't he, where he supposedly met his first love or shared his first kiss, and then he digs up at the roots of the tree and finds the cigarette cigarette box.
Think
It's like
so,
a box with possessions in there, and then it gives him an idea of where he's scarpered to.
Yeah, but do you like that closure, or would it have been cool if he was just like on the bus and just like, I really hope I see him again? Like,
No, I like it.
I like
it. I like the way
closure,
it
it's
ties.
very Hollywood though, isn't it?
Well, it isn't. It isn't because you get what you think is going to be a really horrendous ending or upsetting ending because you get the parallels between Brooks's story with Red's.
Yeah.
Right. So they go to the same halfway house, and Brooks he hangs himself. And he carves into the wood. Brooks was here.
Yeah.
And then you get the so was Red, which is so nicely done. So you think, and Red's miserable and he works the same job at the shopping mall, packaging goods into paper bags, and you think he's gonna suffer the same fate, and then he gets I suppose that's a redemption in
Second
Yeah.
chance.
Yeah.
Because the whole movie, you're not quite sure if Andy's kind of given up like Red has, kind of. Like, you don't know if he's just given up all hope and he's going to suffer being there. Because, I mean, he's there for like 19 years or something, isn't he?
in the prison.
In the prison.
So he's
Yeah.
indoctrinated as the. So is Brooks. Brooks has been in there so long that he doesn't know how
Yeah.
to live on the outside.
And then obviously you get the reveal that he's been digging his way out the entire time.
That's got to be one of the best.
Yeah.
Not the-
And then he's got to get through the pipe, and he's using the.
Yeah.
He's smashing the pipe with a rock, isn't he?
Is it when the thunder is
When the
going?
thunder
Yeah.
strikes, he
But
times it with the thunder.
Have you seen the Family Guy do a parody of
No.
Shawshank Redemption? And in Peter is Andy Dufresne,
Yeah.
and he's crawling through this, and he gets to the pipe, and instead of hitting the pipe every time the lightning or thunder goes,
Yeah.
he's listening to the warden listen to the opening bit of an episode of Friends where it goes, "Ever told you life was gonna be this way?" And then he like hits it 5 times, and that's how he gets into the pipe. Oh, it's hilarious.
Speaking of the warden, I read this thing that there's allegories to Jesus and religion, and the warden's Satan, and all these sort of religious undercurrent themes. When they drink the beers on the roof is meant to be like the last, what's it called?
Last Supper?
Yeah, something like that. And
what's the music he puts? He locks himself in the warden's office, doesn't he? And he puts on the classical music and sits back.
Yeah,
and puts it on the
so
loudspeaker.
good.
I can't remember what song it is exactly, but I know.
It's an opera. But I thought that was quite interesting.
Well, I mean, maybe part of that has to do with he has like a mineral or rock collection, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Shout out Hank Trader. And he makes a mini pickaxe out of the rock.
Yeah.
And he stores that in the Bible.
Yeah.
He has a hollow Bible, which is quite interesting.
Yeah.
So good.
I was listening to another podcast as a bit of research on this film the other day, and do you know that Tom Cruise and Tom Hanks both auditioned for Andy Dufresne?
Really?
Yeah.
I think they got it right.
Yeah, me too. I think
Tom Hanks could have carried it.
Tom Hanks could have done it.
Tom Cruise would have just been weird.
Tom Cruise would have like somehow ripped his shirt off, and like his escape from prison would be him like pole vaulting over the top or something.
What do you make of the whole Andy Dufresne? Is he innocent? Is he not? Because he's meant to have murdered his wife and her lover.
Yeah.
With a golf club, is it? But so you don't ever find out whether he committed the crime or not. But there seems to be some doubt as to whether he was involved, and he never tells Red.
Yeah, I think it gets to the point where, especially with him and Red, that it kind of doesn't matter if they did or not. I mean, Red openly admits murder, but because you see them, what they all go through and how they are redeemed. I think with Andy, it's like, if he did. Yeah.
It's just interesting because you don't know whether you should be on his side.
Yeah.
I mean, when he initially gets to prison and he's taking the beatings and the rapes and all the awful stuff, you don't know whether you're like, but what if he did kill his wife? What if he did kill this man who was in a relationship with his wife? I mean, it's just, I didn't know how to feel about that.
Yeah.
It's really confusing. And then I think the whole fight between, or the intellectual battle between him and the warden is, you do want him to win that because you hate the warden so much.
Yeah.
And like you say, there are parallels with Satan and the warden. And also my favourite line in any movie ever, I think.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. How often do you ever look at a man's shoes? How often do you really look at a man's shoes?
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman. Because he walks back into the cells, doesn't he, wearing the warden's shoes?
Oh,
yeah.
That's how he goes to the bank after he escapes and gets the money out.
Yeah, I need to rewatch it, I think.
Yeah, I might rewatch it again just because it's so good. We want to go on more on this or go on to another one? I can maybe do a link.
Well, a little religious undertones. Is that your link?
Well, yeah, because I'm going to go into Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
But so obviously you get a lot of scholarly articles about this or actual theses. So what I thought after reading a lot is I wonder if all the characters of Pulp Fiction are in like purgatory or something, or it's their own like heaven and hells being played out.
I've never thought of it like that. That's an interesting.
It just came, I mean, this was the first time I watched it, and then I read some of these articles.
Oh, you've seen it now, thank God.
Oh, is this the first time you've seen it?
Yeah.
Wow.
First watch.
Yeah. I mean,
My sister watched it for the first time last night as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
why last night?
I think because we were talking about it yesterday.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just... I think this is one of my favourite films of all time.
Is it?
I think it's my number one.
I
Wow.
think the Big Kahuna Burger scene is probably one of the greatest scenes in film history.
Hamburgers, the cornerstone of any nutritious breakfast.
It's just so well done. Like, the speech is amazing, and like with Vince in the background as well, like putting in his 2 cents every time. Like, it's almost like it's a show, isn't it? And it's unbelievable.
It's my favourite bit is actually the diner at the end. That's my favourite scene.
Yeah,
I
that's
thought
with Tim Roth.
Yeah, or when they're cleaning up the car because that is so hilarious. Yeah.
Well, they're more concerned about the car than they are the person they've just killed.
Where Winston Wolfe sorts it all out for them.
Yeah.
And they give him Tarantino's character's clothes.
Yeah.
And he goes, what do they look like to you? And he goes, they look like a couple of nerds. And Samuel Jackson's like, well, they're your clothes, motherfucker.
Yeah. I love that. What's he called? Wolf. The wolf is wearing a tuxedo the whole time.
Winston Wolfe.
I think Tarantino was supposed to play him.
That wouldn't have worked.
No.
Harvey Keitel does such a good job.
So good. I love the dialogue.
Which is the character that stabs Mia? Not that stabs Mia, but they go to his house to.
He's just a drug dealer.
Yeah.
He's Vincent Vega's drug dealer.
That's who Tarantino was supposed to play.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but then he wanted to be behind the camera for that scene, so that's when they chose not to.
I love the dialogue in this movie. Like, everyone's interactions with each other are amazing.
It says something, doesn't it, about Tarantino's storytelling, that the scene with Vincent and Julius in the car talking about him coming back from Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And what do they call it over there? It's a Royale with cheese.
Yeah.
Royale with cheese.
It's a very like weird watching experience when you know that they're about to commit these horrific crimes and they're talking about something as mundane as like burgers.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you both this because I mean you've watched it so recently. What's the last scene chronologically?
Oh, it's it would be.
And what are the last words of the film?
Would it be Bruce Willis's escape? Is the last scene, and I don't remember what he says. At the end.
Yeah. So it's when he rides the motorbike back to the motel to pick up his.
That's it. Yeah.
Love interest, and she says, "Whose motorcycle is this?" And he says, "It's a chopper, baby." And she goes, "Well, whose chopper is this?" And he goes, "Zed." Who's Zed? Zed is dead, baby. Zed is dead.
So good.
Those are the last words of the film.
Yeah, and you can see actually like the influence this movie has had on so many different movies, like just the non-linear structure. What else? You know, all those like different stories meeting together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just huge, isn't it?
Well, even now you still see. For some reason, in any university halls, there will be a poster of Vincent Vega and Julius holding their pistols downwards. I don't know why. It is just ingrained in popular culture, isn't it?
Tarantino's best work?
Oh, that's really tough.
I would say that I've seen, but I haven't seen Jackie Brown.
I haven't seen Jackie Brown Eyes, and we saw Reservoir Dogs again the other week, and I think that's so close to perfect. I love Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah?
No, for me it's Inglourious Bastards and then Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction's far, far better, but I do like Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
No, Inglourious Bastards, then Pulp Fiction, then Reservoir.
I saw something the other week about how Pulp Fiction was such a violent film for its age as well.
Yeah, I was going to bring this up because do you think if it came out now, it would be more of a shock because of the language used? Because, you know, there's like casual racism thrown in there.
Yeah.
Or do you think back then
I don't know, we had Django Unchained, didn't we?
Yeah.
So, probably not.
No.
There's so much about Pulp Fiction. There's just so many layers to it.
Yeah.
Like, even as far as you get the Christopher Walken scene with childhood Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Where he's talking about how his dad kept this watch in his arse, and then I kept it in my arse, and now I'm giving it to you. But then you get the payoff of the watch story, because it gets left. He basically throws a fight, doesn't he? He's meant to throw a fight, but he kills the guy accidentally.
Yeah.
And his love interest forgets the watch at their house, so he has to go back for it. And he's like, how many times did I tell her? By the bed on the kangaroo. And then when he gets it, he kills Vincent Vega, gets the watch, and he's in the car driving back to the motel. Captain Kangaroo's playing on the radio.
No way. Wow.
There's loads of those like videos and articles around like 50 things you didn't know about Pulp Fiction or something like that. And I was looking at one of them recently, and there's, you know, the scene where Mia orders the $5 milkshake, is it?
Yeah.
And then the waiter offers her like a choice, and the choices are names, and it's two names of a iconic white comedy duo, and then a black comedy duo.
Oh, right.
And that's like, do you want vanilla ice cream or chocolate ice cream?
Oh my God.
Geez.
Yeah, it's really bad.
I found out one of those facts that this movie, the budget was 8 million or 8.5 million, and apparently 5 of that went to the actors.
Wow. They all had really low salaries.
Yeah. But even so, so most of it cost about 3.5 million to make, which is so impressive.
Also, I heard that Tarantino wrote Samuel Jackson's character for him, but then someone else came in and did such an amazing audition that Samuel Jackson had to fly to Los Angeles to audition again to get his own part. It's madness.
I even saw something from Tarantino. I can't, it was a behind the scenes thing where he was talking, the famous dance scene. He was saying how he basically choreographed the whole thing, but when he was choreographing it, he was saying, well, I wanted John Travolta to dance like side to side like this a little bit because it reminded me of this film from the 50s. And then he's like, and then I kind of wanted Uma Thurman to do this like weird kind of shimmy because it reminded me of this film in the 60s. And it's like,
his film knowledge is insane.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And I think even there's the bit where Bruce Willis pulls up at the lights in the car, and there's Marcellus Wallace walks across the road with the donuts and just turns and looks at him. Apparently that's a like for like with, I think it's Jean-Luc Godard's Breathless.
Right.
I think it is. I might be wrong, but there are other things he takes from that film in Pulp Fiction
there's
anyway.
every weapon that he chooses between is like an homage to a different film.
Yeah. The chainsaw from Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one of them.
There's a baseball bat.
Yeah.
There's a katana.
Yeah, which he uses, I think, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say this, that what Tarantino does is injects different time periods into this one movie that's got a weird, every decade up to, when it's set, which I guess is the 90s. But then Forrest Gump kind of does it the other way around, where it injects the character into the timepieces. Yeah. And
that's the segue.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. But I don't know. Well, I just think that. I mean, I prefer Tarantino's way of doing it. I like that.
It can be a bit jarring to watch, like when you don't know where you're at.
I also think that there's so many quotes from Pulp Fiction that you can just bring off the rip. Like the Gimp is sleeping. Go get the Gimp.
Yeah, it's a very quotable film. Probably not as quotable as the film we'll move on to next. Yeah,
but what about the rape scene with Marcellus Wallace?
Yeah,
and he gets out and Bruce Willis goes to him, "Are you okay?" And he goes, "Nah, man, I'm pretty fucking far from okay." And then he's like, "What happens now?" He's like, "What happens now?" It's like, "I'm gonna call a couple of hard pipe hitting N-words, come down here with a pair of pliers and a blowtorch and go to work on the homes." You hear me, hillbilly boy? I'm gonna get medieval on your ass. It's fantastic. I love it so much.
Yeah. Are we gonna touch on what's in the briefcase?
What? Yeah. It's a famous movie device, isn't it? It's called a
MacGuffin.
MacGuffin. Yeah.
But that is the answer. Tarantino's even come out and said it's whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
But it doesn't stop crazy theories going around. People at first thought that it was gold, but then people were like, well, no, if it's that much gold, it would weigh nearly half a ton.
Yeah.
Diamonds are another one. And then have you heard the theory that it's Marcellus Wallace's soul?
Yeah, I heard that one, yeah.
Because the theory stems from the combination of the briefcase being 666.
Oh,
yeah.
And
nice.
also, he's got a plaster on the back of his neck, which apparently has some sort of implications. That's how demons have taken people's souls out the back of their necks.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a weird one. But no, the answer is it's MacGuffin. It's to move the plot along.
Yeah.
But I love it when Tim Roth's character opens it and he just goes, "Is that what I think it is?" Julius is like, "Yeah," and he goes, "It's beautiful." It's just so funnily done. And also, he obviously it doesn't subvert the narrative, but he doesn't do the speech at the end, does he? because he says he wants to retire.
Yeah.
And instead, he's like holding the gun at Tim Roth, and he says, "Go get my wallet out of the bag." And he's like, "How will I know which one it is?" It's the one that says "bad motherfucker." He takes it out, and it's just "bad motherfucker" sewn in big letters onto the front.
Well, that
of the
was actually Tarantino's wallet.
Really?
Yeah, that was Tarantino's wallet, because it's a callback to Shaft.
Oh, of course,
okay.
And also the car is Tarantino's car, the one that gets keyed, Vince's car.
It was like a black
it?
sedan of some
It was
description.
red, I think, and
Yeah.
then it's a famous story because it got stolen after production, and then they only found it like 10 years ago or something.
No way.
Yeah. There's loads
Good
of
knowledge.
there's loads of really interesting things that are just massive coincidences about this film. That I highly recommend people like look into. Like there's another one that's like when John Travolta went to audition at Tarantino's house for the role. Tarantino lived in a house that John Travolta used to live in.
Weird.
Yeah, it's absolutely bizarre. And so he like ended up going back to his old house to.
It's like the universe conspired to make this film.
Yeah, no, it's a weird one, but it's interesting that a lot of these films have like a what's the word, redemption kind of like theme running through them. Like look at Jules's character, and then obviously
Charles Van Doren in Quiz Show.
Quiz Show, and then obviously one of our films is called The Shawshank Redemption.
It's got it in the title.
Got it in the title.
The eponymous redemption.
Do you think it's a sign of the times, like the 90s?
Yeah.
That mid 90s? Like,
Yeah, but I mean also it's a winning formula. People want to see people
yeah.
get
Well,
redeemed.
one of the in 1994 specifically was when Nelson Mandela came to power in South Africa.
Oh,
as
really?
President. Yeah.
Wow.
Which is a huge redemption story.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the flavour at the time was.
Yeah.
Or the zeitgeist was redemption.
Yeah. And also, I had a fun fact that I was going to save for you for on mic. Amazon was founded in 94.
Jeff Bezos.
Yes.
He's the
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There we go.
Started it in his house, right?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, sounds likely.
And I guess that puts us on to our...
Winner?
Well, not our winner,
No,
but
The winner.
the winner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump.
Yeah, this film splits a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think it suffers from its own success in a lot of ways. People don't like popular films a lot of the time. I think it's a solid movie. It's got great narrative. It's fun to watch.
Yeah.
The acting, Tom Hanks. I don't need to convince you, Andrew, but Tom Hanks is an incredible actor. I heard a quote the other day that said that Tom Hanks has got the most emotive eyes in Hollywood, and I never thought of it like that. But now that I've heard it, I'm like, yeah, that's absolutely bang on. And he plays that character so well. It's like it's bordering on almost offensive, but it's not. Like it could get really annoying,
Yeah.
but it doesn't.
It does for me.
Does it?
Yeah.
I find him really endearing and like someone.
No, I actually really dislike Forrest Gump.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I do like the plot. I'm not as big a fan of the kind of gimmicky acting of Tom Hanks in this, or I don't know. Again, it's one of those quotable films, and so many people. I think we were saying earlier, Joe, the whole like "Run, Forrest, run." It's like everyone says that at some point in their life about someone just like
when you're a
brisk
kid
jog.
running, like someone will just shout that at you.
So it does just. Again, it's so important in popular culture, and it's a huge part of it. But I just don't enjoy it at all. I don't enjoy the character. I can't get on board with the character, basically.
It's not. Yeah, I think that character is what splits a lot of people. It's also not a conventional kind of 3-act film, is it? It just moves through the years quite steadily and shows what happens. It's like a biopic, isn't it?
Yeah, almost. Yeah, it's just
bit of a fictional character, and you see his entire life, and some of the coincidences and stuff that you don't like.
It's
they
got
play them-
Watergate.
Yeah, we didn't realise this until earlier.
Yeah, that's quite funny actually. Yeah.
I wanted to bring this up actually, and maybe this is an idea for an episode, but is Richard Nixon like Hollywood's greatest nemesis or villain? There's so many
They
movies.
throw him under the bus a lot.
Yeah.
Don't they? Like, yeah.
My fellow Americans.
Because I was thinking, I mean, this is.
I don't know enough about Nixon to go
Really?
into that in a whole podcast.
Do you know
Yeah.
Richard Nixon's middle name?
No.
Millhouse.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's amazing. Because I was thinking, like, after. I mean, this is a bit deep, but after Hitler, do you think Nixon is the next in line for, the current generation's most hated man?
I'm not sure. I mean, there was Frost Nixon, wasn't
Yeah,
there? Which
that's
was
a
a
good
great
movie.
film.
Yeah.
Is he villainized to such a degree in other things? I mean, he was the inaugural honor. Well, he was in power during the space landing or during the first man on the moon.
Also, they just
Yeah,
did
it
that
was.
in Quiz Show as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
They were like,
Yeah.
oh, Eisenhower's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nixon's president.
But
that was like a throwaway comment that wasn't
Yeah,
needed at
but
all.
he-
Yeah, it was
wouldn't have
the
been-
father, wasn't it? He just kind of randomly said, "Oh, Eisenhower's dead."
Yeah.
Someone was like, "What?"
But it wouldn't have been because was Nixon JFK. Then it was someone. Then Nixon, wasn't it?
So, sorry, just going back to Quiz Show because I've just remembered this. Richard Goodwin, in real life, then went to work for the Kennedy administration in the White House
Yeah, there we go.
Wow.
till 1960, I believe, upon his death. Upon Bobby Kennedy's death, even.
Yeah.
So, that matches up, I think, doesn't it?
Yeah, okay.
Eisenhower, then Kennedy is the point.
Yeah, okay, yeah, not Nixon. He came out.
Yeah.
He came.
Nixon was 9 years after
Yeah,
Kennedy's
yeah.
death.
Yeah,
Hmm.
our villain Nixon.
Yeah, I mean,
Is he villainized? I don't know. Is he villainized? In what else though? I mean, he was the only president to be
Futurama.
impeached. Yeah, but he's a maniac in Futurama, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's
Yeah.
loads of movies he's in, and yeah,
Going back to Forrest Gump, like, I don't know. I really like it. Convince me why you don't like it. Like,
That's a very fair thing to say. Like I touched on already, I think Tom Hanks's portrayal of a man who we believe to be have learning difficulties essentially is right on the line. I don't particularly enjoy his performance. I don't particularly enjoy all of the. It's quite gimmicky. So like he goes on to become like a ping pong champion who then goes to play in China for ambassadorial purposes. Then he starts a running group and everyone follows him around the country.
he doesn't
It's
start
like-
a running group.
He starts running and then people start
Yeah,
following
I
him
know,
around.
but it's not like handing out leaflets. Like, come to
It's
my
just
running group.
I like the idea of a man with learning difficulties being such a force and being such a momentum in the world that people he does find the celebrity and people follow him around. But at the same time, it's just now he's in the Vietnam War. Now he's a ping pong champion. Now he's running all over America. It's, like,
Yeah.
It just really fucks me
There
off.
is-
Like,
There is part of me that like looks at these other films and sees these really morally complex, interesting characters, which are really fun to watch, but then turn it on its head and just have someone that's just such a nice guy with no like underlying motives. Just wants like
I think it suffers from Spielberg's propensity to
it's a family
want
film,
to shock
isn't it?
people or want to like do something like kind of out there and wacky. Especially that Watergate bit. It's like fuck off, Spielberg. Like really,
Yeah.
it's just unnecessary. Like and I suppose that carries through the kind of social element, like the background. So he meets two of the presidents. He meets JFK.
Yeah.
He meets Nixon. So it carries that on, but
it did give birth, I guess, to that kind of film as well, didn't it? It was the first one to do that
seen
kind
the
of.
life of Walter Mitty?
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention. Yeah,
You
that
know
was
it
kind of
wasn't
like,
directed by Spielberg, right?
He's involved in it, I'm sure.
Oh, is he?
I'm pretty sure he's involved in it.
who did it. But I tell you what, one thing that it did do well behind the scenes is it actually uses CGI and like placing the way they placed him in those like on the TV and stuff.
Yeah.
is actually very well done.
Apart from the John Lennon one,
Yes.
that's really badly done.
Yeah. Okay. But for the time, 94, when I'm going to mention a Star Wars prequel again, but when that comes 4 years after, and the CGI is terrible. But this makes like use of a technology, sparingly and for the better purposes of the movie. And I think they did stuff with like the explosion in Vietnam and having the actors in and out, and I think that goes
when
to its credit.
He meets the president, doesn't he? He's like, I need to go to pee. I like it. It's a fun watch.
Yeah.
Whether it should have won Best Picture, something we'll move on to. But
should we go on to that now?
I don't have anything else.
I don't have anything. It's a good story, but it's a really nice. I guess it's a really good family film. I think probably a safe decision for the board.
Yeah.
I think out of all of them, that's probably like the easiest one that everyone would probably agree on, more than I think if they went with Pulp Fiction, there potentially could be an outcry from people that might be like, oh, it's too violent, or I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems so. Robert Zemeckis was the director of Forrest Gump. It seems like he was best friends with Spielberg.
Yeah.
Right.
But
had some
Spielberg, I don't know how much direct impact or influence Spielberg had on the project, so fuck my mouth.
You are dropping a lot of F-bombs today, needlessly as well.
It's fun.
No, I'm going to have to do some bleeps. Or maybe I won't.
Okay, right. Okay, let's go through this one.
Yeah. What do you want to do? Rank first and then decide? Or do you want to say your favourite and then rank?
I was going to work my way from 5 to number 1 of... I was just going to...
Go for it.
Rank them. So wait, we have... What are they again?
So I'll run through them again. So Forrest Gump 1.
Yep.
Pulp Fiction.
Yep.
4 Weddings and a Funeral.
Yep.
Shawshank Redemption. Quiz Show.
Okay.
Okay, well, should we all do our bottom?
Our bottom one.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. I love it, but it's going to have to be 4 Weddings and a Funeral.
I agree.
Yeah, I third that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or should I say I sixth that?
Are we going to bother number scoring these, or?
No, I don't.
Let's
do you want to?
Score them out of 6. Oh no, wait, this might get confusing though.
Yeah. There's a lot of numbers flying around.
3.9.
Yeah, I'd go with that too.
Yeah, 4.1.
4.1?
Yeah.
You're always a bit more generous.
I am a bit generous.
You're
you make a movie and then let's see.
Well, no one will watch it, so.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Tricky.
I'm gonna have to go Quiz Show. I loved it, but it's an insanely stacked category for 1994.
Yeah, I think I agree with Quiz Show, but also I kind of want to put Forrest Gump in there. But I think, I'll go with... I'm just thinking of my number ratings, and I think I would rate Forrest Gump higher than Quiz Show.
I'm also going Forrest Gump at 4.
Okay, fair enough.
Number score?
I'd probably give it 3.9 as well.
Okay.
I know that puts it on a par with 4 Weddings, but I slightly prefer Forrest Gump.
4.5.
For Quiz Show?
Yeah.
I'd go 4.1 for Quiz Show.
If you haven't watched it, give it a watch.
Yeah, it's definitely worth watching and a real solid movie. I'm glad actually we watched it, because I think someone, when we mentioned it, was like, oh, that looks like a boring watch, but actually it was really good.
Yeah.
Number 3.
It's a Quiz Show for me.
Okay.
Yeah. Yours?
Where am I at? Oh, Forrest Gump, number 3 for me.
Shawshank, number 3.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Ratings?
4.8.
I go 4.5.
For what was your one?
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump. And I would give Quiz Show a 4.6.
Cool.
Because I very much enjoyed it.
Number 2.
Number 2.
I'm gonna go Forrest Gump, number 2.
Oh man, I'm torn. I'm gonna go Pulp Fiction, because I think you guys are gonna put that first, so I'm gonna be different. Yeah.
Shawshank, number 2.
2.
Yeah, for me, Forrest Gump gets a 5.2.
Pulp Fiction. Wow.
It's not a system. We shouldn't have done.
Yeah. The number system's made it really confusing. I guess like 5.4, 5.5, somewhere there for me.
I'd give Shawshank a 5.7.
Christ. You've jumped up from like 4.5 to 5.7.
Well, he did say it's in his top 10,
that's
top 5.
Top
maybe?
5.
Okay, so that means for me that Pulp Fiction should have won.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same as Joe. Pulp Fiction for me definitely should have won.
Yeah, I'm saying Shawshank just to kind of...
I think Pulp Fiction ages well, doesn't it?
I think, yeah, it does. But so does Shawshank, I think.
Yeah.
As well.
They've both achieved cult status since they came out.
Yeah.
For my score for Pulp Fiction, I'd give it a 5.9.
Wow.
Because it is my favourite film ever.
Yeah, 5.7. I think. I think it's not my favourite film of all time, but it's definitely in my top 10. Pulp Fiction.
I'd give Shawshank 5.6. So, yeah, it was a tough decision, but they're both like amazing movies, and
you're splitting hairs at this stage.
Yeah, exactly. It's so hard.
Thing is, I think if you put Quiz Show, Forrest Gump, Pulp Fiction, and Shawshank in different years, they win.
Yes.
And probably Four Weddings if you put it in a weak year.
I don't know if Four Weddings would win. Yeah, I'm not convinced.
I can find a year where if you put Four Weddings in, it would have won an Academy Award.
Sounds like a year full of garbage to me.
There is a lot of years of garbage. Maybe we should do that.
2004, Crash. Would have beaten Crash.
Actually, that year that I was saying that Shakespeare in Love won, it beat Saving Private Ryan.
What?
That's mad.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be the next one.
We should do the worst year next because this might be the best year.
Yeah, this is a tricky decision. What do you think ultimately was the decision for them giving it to Forrest Gump?
Well, this is what I wanted to move on to a little bit because what we're seeing a lot more these days with the Academy Awards is them like distributing them more evenly. Say if you're giving Best Picture to this film, you give the Best Actor to a different film. Like we saw it this year with Roma winning Best Picture. No, sorry, Green Book winning Best Picture. Roma was like Best Original, and then Rami Malek Best Actor.
It almost happened with Moonlight and La La Land as well.
Yeah, but you didn't have that because Tom Hanks won Best Actor.
Right.
Which they should have done that. Tom Hanks Best Actor because out of all those films, I think Tom Hanks definitely won that award.
Who won Best Actor that year?
Tom Hanks.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, he won for Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he should have won for that.
No,
Really?
I actually think someone from Shawshank probably should have got that. As acting, the art of acting, or even someone from Pulp Fiction. Maybe Sam. No, it's supporting, isn't it?
I think. I can't remember the actor's name who plays Andy Dufresne, but I think
Tim Robbins.
Yeah.
he should have won it for me.
Yeah.
He's aged really badly, by the way. I just looked him up about 10 minutes ago.
That sucks.
Yeah, so Forrest Gump won Best Picture, Tom Hanks won Best Actor, and Roman Zemeckis won Best Director.
No, Best Director, Tarantino.
Tarantino should have won that.
Yeah.
But Tarantino did win Best Original Screenplay.
Yeah, I think he should have got that for sure, and Best Director.
Tom Hanks won Best Actor in back-to-back years.
Yeah.
Really?
Philadelphia and Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
He's
Wow.
a very good actor.
He is a very good actor.
Did he win for Saving Private Ryan as well? Oh, no.
I don't think so.
No.
So,
Well-
John Travolta was nominated for Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, it was
Really?
nominated.
Paul Newman, Nigel Hawthorne, and Morgan Freeman.
No idea.
And Best Supporting Actor went Martin Landau for what?
Bela Lugosi, Ed Wood.
Ed Wood.
I've not seen it.
No, yeah.
Best Supporting, you could have had even the dad in the quiz show.
Yeah.
Could have.
He
got
was
that.
nominated.
Was
Well,
he?
No,
Yeah.
no, supporting. You just give it to not Samuel Jackson. Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
That's
Or Samuel L. Jackson too.
Samuel L. Jackson was nominated. Morgan Freeman was nominated for Best Actor.
They nominated for Best Actor. Where
yeah,
does that
Paul-
line where do you put that line with?
It's just,
Is it done over minutes? You're on screen.
I don't know. I think it's just arbitrary, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they did that this year with The Favourite, didn't they? Because technically, like Emma Stone and Rachel Weisz were the main actresses, but they put them in Best Supporting so they could put Olivia Colman in Best Actress.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, we've said it a few times, but this was an incredible year for movies, 1994.
I mean, so Pulp Fiction won Best Screenplay, and Forrest Gump won Best Screenplay based on material previously produced or published. So, Pulp Fiction did get some love.
Yeah.
Tarantino got his Oscar.
Sweet. Well deserved.
Very well deserved.
And Can You Feel the Love Tonight won Best Original Song.
Yeah, so The Lion King was 1994.
Yeah. And that's where we're up to in modern times. The Lion King is out again.
Brought it full circle, haven't
There was
we?
a lot of scandal around Sam Smith, the singer.
Yes.
So he sang the Bond theme.
Right.
It wasn't Skyfall, it was
Okay.
sorry, I can't remember which one it was, but he won an Oscar for that, and he got up and said he was the first gay man to win a music direction Oscar. And Elton John's like, hello.
Yeah.
And the LGBT community hit him hard.
I bet they did, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I think that about covers everything.
Yeah.
That's turned into quite a lengthy... I thought this was going to be a short one, but...
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah, good discussing.
But if you massively disagree with us, then hit us up. Let us know if you think that we got the orders completely wrong, and we'll fight you.
Yep.
Let me know if I should actually figure out who the director of Forrest Gump is before I pan it.
You were talking about Spielberg for like a couple of minutes. I was like,
There are a lot of Spielberg tropes in it. That's why I got confused.
Right,
but-
I
and they're best mates, or they were best mates. Apparently they split up now
have they?
because they were dating.
Right.
Apparently their friendship came to an end in the early noughties.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, so thanks for listening. I forgot to do shout outs at the start, but I want to thank those people that listen regularly. I've got a few friends and people messaging me, Matt, Jordan.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, my friends said, screw that, it's 2 hours long, I'm not listening to it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So,
And the shout out on social media, so go follow us on Instagram, Twitter at Slate Six.
yeah.
Yep.
Joe manages the Insta, I manage the Twitter.
Very nice.
We're on Acast, Spotify, iTunes.
Yes, we are newly on Apple iTunes podcast.
Yay!
Yeah.
Finally. So what was the beef?
We didn't have our description of our show.
Okay. They won this round.
Yeah.
We're coming for you, Apple.
Apple and Rotten Tomatoes from last week, coming for both of them.
And Idris Elba.
Just add them to the list.
Put it on the later base.
Next week, we don't have an idea again yet, do we? And you're not around, Arlo, are you?
I'm
Or
not
are
entirely
you?
sure. I need to
Okay.
double
Okay,
check.
I think we're gonna. Well, we'll see if Larry wants to join us again.
Yeah.
He's got a bit of free time on his hands now.
He does.
We might have a 4. We might have a 3. We might.
Yeah.
it
Might have
just
6.
be me.
Who knows?
Might just be Andrew here screaming at the walls.
It's happened before.
I'm quite happy you managed to like calm down on the Tom Hanks love this week, even though like.
Look, I don't know where this has come from. It's not true.
All right.
It's
Anyway,
pretty good though. Anyway, yeah.
cheerio.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.